The following podcast has been brought to you by Audible. Get a free book and 30-day trial with audibletrial.com/tokupodcastu or click the link in the description below. And remember, if you decide not to stay with the service, you get to keep that free audiobook. Now on with the show.
The following Toku Podcastu contains spoilers from both past and present tokusatsu, anime, manga, movies and other related media. If you do not wish to be spoiled, we suggest turning off the podcast now. Otherwise, please enjoy the show.
Hello everybody, welcome to the Toku Podcast, the best show about Tokusatsu you probably never heard of. And today's our 100th episode.
Yes.
Yay!
Yatta, 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 yatta.
Everyone can clap now. Anyways, you know what? I should have just unmuted everybody so we could just have one big old clap track. No, just. Anyways, so yeah, it's episode 100. We've been doing this for 100. Well, I say 100. It's probably been more. It's just 100 published episodes.
Yeah.
Some of them get a little chewed up.
Yeah.
Either chewed up, exploded, or in the case of three of them, my fucking laptop was dead, so they're never coming around. Which is sad because, well, actually, it's that and or we didn't record it. Like that one time we had Josh record our fucking Gokaiger episode, which was fucking hilarious, and then he comes around saying, I didn't record it. I'm like, you bastard.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Or like our magnum 3-hour opus for all the fucking mechs, and the fucking recording was just lost, which was 3 hours. So.
Oh.
AJ, what about with you, I, and Rob when we tried to do the mechas?
Yeah, that's what I just said.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, that's right. You cut out a bit.
Oh, okay.
It happens.
So yeah.
I
Used to
remember
it,
that.
folks.
Don't worry, it's not like they're gonna listen to the OBS. They're listening to the Audacity, so it's gonna come through.
Hooray!
So, yeah. So we've been doing this for 100 episodes. 1 second. Let me just turn this off real quick because I think it's catching it. So there we go. So yeah, we've been doing this for 100 episodes. And what better way that we can end this with canonically the number theory of 20? Actually, how the fuck do they even work with that? How does that work?
I don't.
Did they even try that?
The Z and the O are a 2 and a 0.
Like a 2 and a 0?
That's there.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Alrighty,
Okay.
So, as you can tell, episode 100 is also kind of a weird thing because it lined up with the finale of ZiO.
Yeah.
So,
but,
and not Power Rangers ZiO,
Yeah.
and not Power Rangers ZiO, Kamen Rider Zi-O. That is such a weird fucking thing to say now.
Yeah.
So depending on your opinion, yeah.
Also, not just Kamen Rider ZiO, it's Kamen Rider ZiO. Because there's 2 of them now.
Well,
It's as if
G-O,
if
because it's
it's as if you've realized it and you're like oh, okay.
Oh, it's the moment of realization that this show is garbage. By the way,
yeah.
I'll say this. I'm gonna preface this now. Whoever's listening, who's ever is gonna listen to it on the feed, if you really, really like this show, I'm putting this out there. Don't listen to this, okay? Just don't, because you're not gonna like what we're gonna say. It's like some of us don't like it as much as others. You know, but it's not going to be a very overwhelmingly positive review from anyone's standpoint. I'll say that right now. So if you have a, you know, I don't know, if you just don't like to hear people shit on your show, well, you've been warned. Anyways, so let's start with this. Let's actually start with this. So where do we start? Do we start with, you know, the fact that this is the 20th anniversary of the Heisei era that literally just ended?
Yeah, I mean, technically it's already over. That was like 3 months ago now? 4 months ago?
Yeah.
Wasn't it in May?
It was May, yeah.
Yeah, it was start of May, yeah.
Yeah.
Would I meet you the first Rainbow Wider? Anyways. But yeah, so...
We're actually, you know what, we're unironically going to get that in a couple of years, so might as well
Oh,
get it out of
fuck,
the way
yeah,
now.
we are. Yeah, we are. It's the same people who... Well, I mean, those cellist cucks are BTFO anyways. So anyways...
That's true.
they're out of there. So yeah, so where do we start? Because this is a big fucking thing. This was anticipated immensely throughout the entire fandom because this is basically going to be Decade 2 without Decade. Spoilers. But yeah, this was going to be the big finale. This was going to be our magnum opus, to say. And without giving too much away just yet, it wasn't. It really kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had some lofty ambitions, but as any show like this ought to. But sadly, the execution was lacking.
Yeah.
I'll say this. I mean, I had my biases because of who they hired from the beginning, and I was just saying this is gonna suck because they hired. I mean, it was the producer and the writer of Ninja, weren't they? They were both Ninja based.
Well, Shurker has been a producer on a lot of shows. I don't remember what the last one he did was, but it was the writer of fucking Ninja, which is
our favorite.
So he was what a coincidence! He was the producer of Decade 2, huh? Gee,
oh my god!
Really makes you think.
But yeah, I had my biases at the beginning because it's like, yeah, it's these motherfuckers. What do you think is gonna happen? And it's an anniversary series. Those things have a tendency to suck, and if they don't, they're very much, That's just how they go.
Yep.
But let's take away all the preface. Let's just remove this from, public hype and everything like that. Let's just talk about this actual show, and let's start with you know what? Let's start with the characters, because that's going to be the quickest fucking thing, because there is no fucking character in this show.
There is no character.
There is one character.
Well, you've got
let's start
Milk
with
Toast, and you've got Angry all the time, and you've got Just Trying to Help, and then you've got Uncle. And then you've got Decade.
And
Decade. Well, okay, I was going to say this right now. I'm going to take something off of this. I'm going to take something off of this review for myself personally. I'm not talking for these guys. I'm not going to be using the returning writers as a fucking positive, because those are jingling keys in front of an infant. That's what they amounted to.
I suppose that's fair, although Decade is probably a good exception there.
Oh no, I was going to say, with the exception of Decade and The End, who actually played a role into the story.
Yeah.
Every other writer, that's not a positive. That's a fucking negative, especially with certain ones we'll get to. But with ZiO, let's talk about Sogo, whatever the fuck his name is.
Milquetoast.
Tokyo Sogo, normal high school student, wants to become a king, but he's gonna become the overlord of time.
ZiO.
ZiO!
Which doesn't make sense.
Every episode, I should remember that fucking preamble by heart.
Dude, I fucking skipped it.
Preamble.
I skipped that shit after episode 4.
I don't know. I just like Waz, so I kept listening to it anyways.
Oh, that's fair.
I mean, Waz is cool and all, but let's actually talk about Sogo real quick, because I don't have much to say, but what I do have to say, I hope at least carries some weight here, in the sense that he is the most, and I think I said this to Phil. He has a main goal whilst being the most passive main character I have ever seen ever.
Yep.
Because he doesn't do anything. He does
really,
jack and shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty valid.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty boring for a series main writer. He's just so bland.
He reminds me of Haruto from Wizard, except if Haruto from Wizard's real personality changed every time it came back, because he'll go through most of the show with no personality at all, and then he'll come back and have a personality, but it's a totally different one than before. Or sometimes he'll just oh, I'm a really cool guy, I want to help everybody. And then sometimes
but Haruto at least had a goal.
Well, I mean, Sogo did too, but see, that's the thing. He had a goal, and the whole thing about a goal is that if you want your audience to get behind someone going for that, they have to work for it. Sogo didn't do jack. the entire show. Everything he got either fell in the case of the Decade Watch, literally fell into his fucking lap, or with Grand ZiO, it was just literally Momotaro's was just like, oh yeah, here, fuck it, you can have this watch. Like that's how it, like I don't know if this was playing it for comedy or what, but everything he did, none of it was worked for, and I'm just like, you're putting fucking Coda to shame when I think he has more of a fucking role in this story than you do. Like, god damn.
Honestly, yeah, that's kind of the worst part, is that his motivation is, it's such a vague, nebulous motive that, like, even if he tried to do anything to, like, get towards it, there's no way for him to really to. He wants to be
Yeah, because
king.
He's just saying, I want to be king.
But he never really explains what that means. What he means
it's a
by
fine...
wants.
Yeah, it's a fine thing on paper to say, I wanted to be king. I'm sure it looked great in the scripts. But being a king is just such an outdated, outmoded concept for everyday people that no one would be able to relate to it.
But see, like I was going to say...
I said this on the episode... I said this the first time I watched episode 1, and I remember it was on my frickin' birthday last year. I watched it as soon as I heard... Yeah, quite a great way to end that. End my birthday the next day.
As you were saying.
As soon as Sogo said, "Oh no, I'm gonna be a king," I immediately said, "I'm gonna hate this series, aren't I?" And I was not wrong.
Well, Phil, he wanted to be the Burger King. Oh wait, they're sponsored by McDonald's. That's not gonna work. Anyways.
He wanted to be
which is appropriate, because he ended up being a clown.
It's also appropriate because he ended up being the villain too, so, you know, the Burger King is the villain.
Well, see, okay, so when I heard that he wanted to be king, right? I was just like, okay, the only way this can make sense is one of two ways. Either A, he knows about Kamen Riders and wants to be the king of the writers, or B, he wants to be king in the metaphorical sense where he's like the leader of something, like the prime minister or some shit. But no, he doesn't do any. This is his personality. Something happens, he laughs it off, he acts dorky, and then maybe once in a while he'll go, "I'm angry, rah." Every once in a while, like that's a rarity, and that's it. That's his entire fucking character, and I'm just like, really? That's what we got? And it doesn't get any better from there, honestly.
No, and that kind of goes into what I was saying, is that his personality is so over the place, where, like, sometimes he'll be like, oh, I'm kind of a nice guy, or he'll be like, I guess the best way to put it is, like, lawful evil, chaotic goodish. Well, he'll be an asshole, you know, unrepentantly to get what he wants. And then he'll be like, well, it was good for a good reason, but I'm still being an asshole. And then sometimes he'll just be like, full-on dickhead mode, but it's never consistent. He never really has, like, a reason to. I would have, if it was like he starts as one and then slowly becomes the other, alright, cool, that works. But no, it flip-flops between it, and that's the problem.
Honestly, with that idea, it would have helped the ending of him becoming Oma ZiO work a lot fucking better, especially if we're going from really, really, really nice guy to dickhead. Like, that would have worked. Because at least that would have made sense why he becomes Oma ZiO. But, you know, that didn't fucking happen.
He basically went through an Anakin Skywalker.
In a reverse, maybe? I guess in reverse?
I guess.
But, so, I mean, what else is there to say about fucking Sogo? Because he's just nothing. He's water. He's bread. He's fucking styrofoam. He's got nothing to him.
He's milk.
Milk
the
toast.
most I could say... The most I can say about the guy is his actor did an okay job.
Yeah,
I guess.
Okino did a decent role with what he was given. I mean, there's a lot of, especially more in the later episodes, it's when he actually, like, seems like he's giving a shit, he's pretty good, but then it's just like he's so boring throughout the most.
Yeah.
Let this be a warning to you guys. When one of the people who auditioned for Sogo says, "Go fuck yourself, I'd rather be Waz," you know you have a problem. You have a problem.
Yeah.
I'd rather be the tertiary writer than this asshole.
He wasn't even a writer
And
at
we're
that
not
point.
lying.
He was just the guy.
Oh, that's right!
To be fair, to be fair, Woz was pretty much the most interesting out of those main four people.
He might as well have been the main writer.
So, I mean,
He should have been.
valid.
Everyone likes to be the bad guy, and he got to be a ham, and that was great.
Really
So,
was.
speaking of ham, let's talk about the man whose face is ham, Guys.
Gaze,
Or Gaze, or Gates, or how the...
Guys.
Okay,
Bill
can we
Gates,
just...
yeah.
Can we just say they should have just trademarked Gates the same way it's spelled, but with a T instead at the in front of the Z, because they keep saying Gates. It's never Gaze, it's Gates. That's how they say it.
Well, it's a weird thing where that's how it's, the Japanese, and that's how it works, and that's how it translates. But yeah, the English, it's weird to us in English because it's missing the T there, so...
Yeah, you just gotta remember it's Romanized Japanese as opposed to English.
You just gotta remember
Yeah,
that
it's really weird.
Don't know how to spell things in English.
Well, let's
That
talk
too.
about Gates and how
But they're
he's
at least
so
trying.
fucking useless.
Gaze, I feel like has like the closest to a character arc in this show, but it's another issue of they can't decide on what it is, so his arc keeps changing in the middle of his arc.
Well, let's talk about it this way. So, one big example, and this one, this legitimately got me really fucking pissed off. So, Gates from the beginning wants to kill Sogo. He wants to kill him because you're gonna be almost ZiO, and I want you to die. Roar! And then,
go
and
back
then
in time to kill Time
the
Hitler,
moment,
save the world.
the moment Sogo says, "Okay, fuck this, I'm not gonna use the belt anymore." Gates is like, "No, you're my friend. You gotta be ZiO." Like,
Oh, good
you
God.
fucking for real, bro? You literally spent this entire time trying to get this guy to get rid of the belt, only to immediately say, "Use the belt." Are you fucking retarded?
Well,
Come
no,
on, man.
But that's one of the things that my problem is there is that he starts, like Sogo has absolutely no chance of being redeemed. He will become Time Hitler no matter what. He's definitely going to become evil. There's no chance of us changing history at all. We have to kill him no matter what. And then as the show goes on, he's like, okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe this guy's better than I thought. Maybe we can change the future. Maybe we don't have to kill him. And then he keeps changing his mind on that, and he keeps being like,
Right?
I'm conflicted about this. Like, motherfucker, you've had this revelation 4 times now already. I don't know why you keep changing your mind.
It is episode 41 and you're still having this.
Like, that's the worst part, too, is that they literally, reset everything so he becomes that character again near the end of the show, and we're just wasting time going the same exact plot arc at the beginning.
And see, the thing, and that's the thing about, how fucking the characters are written in the show, is that even things that should have consequences don't. Like, how when we find out about Woz and Gaze's background, where they're, war fucking rivals because Woz apparently betrayed Gaze. I'm sorry, Gaze should be gunning for this motherfucker's head at all times. And he's not. He's just like, okay.
Yeah, he
I'm kind of pissed off.
Accepts that fact rather quickly, but I don't know.
Right?
We didn't see the movie, and I know the movie kind of explains what the fuck Woz's whole deal is, so maybe there's something in that we missed, but we of course have not seen the movie yet. So maybe not. Who knows?
But see, either
doesn't
way,
change it,
you see the guy who betrayed your entire army and got hundreds upon thousands of your friends murdered, and you're just like, yeah, that's cool.
Especially when you see him back in time trying to help the guy you're trying to stop become the guy that you came back in time to stop in the first place. And even then, after, y'all patch everything up, he's like, I don't want to kill you anymore. He's still trying to help him become, fucking ZiO there. And he still is just like, whatever, it's fine. I don't know.
It keeps piling up. It keeps piling up. And we're barely on Gaze!
And and that's the thing. I would have been fine. Again, like I said, I would have been fine if he starts off, I hate him, I want to stop him. And then as he starts to, work with him more, he's like, okay, alright, maybe I can. And, you know, maybe, okay, you can throw in a little bit of a, okay, there's something here that kind of shakes up my confidence and I change my mind. I get over it. That's natural. That happens in these shows all the time. You get over it. But they do it like 3 times and it just gets annoying.
Right?
Yeah.
You know what the sad thing is, Jay? And I'm noticing a pattern here. We're mentioning the way to fix these characters is to actually give them an arc. That is fucking pathetic. Like, for a show like this, you would think, yeah, why don't they have an arc? Why doesn't anybody in this show have an actual arc? And it's just like, no, I guess not. I guess nobody has a fucking arc. Because, like, let's talk about, and you know what, let's keep going with gays, because there's still more things here with gays, you know, like, and that's not even trying to get into the fucking shit about Gays Revive, which is just a fucking hoot and a half. A hoot and a half with that bullshit. Oh, Gaze was on a Gaze was on a treadmill and he bled, so he can use it now.
Oh yeah. So, well, I'll get into that story because that's well, that's the thing is that this is unfortunately one of the few shows where we really get a good like behind the scenes look from somebody working on it, because Shirakura, in his horribly wise decision, decided to start answering questions from fans in English, which of course led to repeatedly stupid things being said to him and him saying to us. And I'm pretty sure he doesn't like the Western fan base anymore, but not that I can blame him because they're all awful.
Well, because of one particular thing that we will not mention.
We'll get.
But yeah,
that.
so
it's too late. It's way past.
Yeah. So as you were saying,
kind of have to mention it.
Yeah.
So the thing is that so about halfway through the show, well, not really halfway, like end of the first quarter, around when the third writer usually shows up. Yes, the Trinity incident. We'll get to that later. What happens is, you know, I'm sure you already know, but if not, Best Boy Waz gets a clone from another timeline, because of course, and he's a writer, because of course, and he's like, oh, I've come back in time because you ended up getting a new power, and you ended up stopping ZiO, and you saved the world, and everything's cool and happy now, or just don't ask questions, it's all cool, it's all happy, just trust me, bro. I'm a fairy, bro. Don't you trust fairies? You know? And
looks like a fucking fairy.
And what? Shit, I fucking forgot where I was going with that. Damn it. And you know, he's like, yes, he definitely does become ZiO. You definitely save the world. Absolutely nothing else happens. Don't bother asking any questions about that. And he still feels the need to be like conflicted about this news. He's like, but maybe I can, maybe I don't have to. I don't know. He kind of flip-flops on it there. And again, I'd be fine with that arc if it weren't for the fact that they don't really do anything to like make the other Waz's words seem like bad. And I'll get to that when we get more into the Waz's.
Waz himself. Wazai.
So it's just, again, it's repeating his arc in reverse now, because now he's like, well, I don't want to kill him, and he has to build up to wanting to kill him again, and that ends up leading nowhere because he changes his mind a third time. But the problem is, I fucking, you know what, yeah, that's what I was saying. I don't even remember what this tangent started. Oh, right, is us talking about his upgrade. So he gets the upgrade, which is Revive or something, whatever. It's kind of stupid. Its whole gimmick, it's one of those obligatory, the more you use it, the more it kills you power-ups, because it's so powerful, it does a thing, and blah, blah, blah. They never really explain it. It's just there because we need to have the obligatory murders you power-up.
Yeah, I think they just said it puts incredible strain on him or something.
Yeah. And after a point, he just, like, the whole, it's going to kill you if you use it thing just gets completely dropped. Off screen.
I would have liked to have seen that.
Off screen, he just gets better at it. It's not even like...
Why?
And that's the funny part, is that somebody asked Shirakura on Twitter, it's like, hey, why can he use Revive now if he never actually like trained to be able to not die from it? And Shirakura tells this random as fuck story about, there was this time I went to the gym when I was on a treadmill, and I coughed up blood, and then the next day I was fine, and it didn't happen, so that's why he can use it without having to train more.
Oh my god.
He got better.
Yeah, he literally
got
better.
He got better. Like,
I'll tell you the reason why he spit up blood, because he pushed himself too hard. That's probably why.
but see, the thing is, like, the thing about and that's the thing about gays in a nutshell is just don't ask questions. It's okay. It's off-screen stuff. I mean, you could say that's the entire show in a nutshell. It's off-screen shit because it is.
So he's Axel, but without the character development.
Yeah.
Or charm.
Without anything. Yeah, pretty much.
Charisma.
I kind of liked Gaze later on, once this whole arc had kind of resolved, and he was just kind of like the edgy sidekick. But even then, he was just there. He didn't really do anything of worth. Like, he gets the one upgrade and then never again, whereas literally everybody else gets more upgrades than him. Imagine being the secondary rider, but you only get one power-up.
And the tertiary rider gets the final form.
Yeah, and your fucking replacement gets 2.
Like,
absolutely.
and see that's the fucking thing about like gays in general, and we'll get into it when we talk about Tsukiyomi, which I think we should talk about her right now actually, because
what is there to talk about her though?
I actually have something to talk about with Tsukiyomi. She is the dumbest bitch I have ever seen.
She had the what?
She's the dumbest bitch I've ever seen. Because, okay, think of it this way. This girl has every reason to believe that ZiO is going to be evil. Alright, cool. Then she goes back and she's like, well, maybe ZiO's going to be fine. Okay, cool. Then ZiO gets ZiO too. Oh my god, he's going to be evil! That's the fucking jump.
I was gonna say that too, is that she basically just exists to be a contrarian to gays. Because the entire first third before Whitewash shows up, she's just like, dude, what are you talking about? He's definitely not gonna become evil. We can make him become good. Immediately from episode 1, before he even has the fucking belt, she believes, for some reason, that Sogo will not become Oma-ZiO, and that they can change history without having to kill him. For no real reason, no evidence to support this. She just says it because she does. And then Whitewash shows up. Because we gotta
give him a chance.
Whitewash shows up and then tells it, like I said, oh, well, yeah, he definitely becomes evil and he's definitely gonna save the world. And she immediately turns 180 degrees and fully sides with him, and then starts shouting at starts shouting at gays, calling him an idiot for, why don't you want to kill him already? He's gonna be evil, you dipshit. Just kill him, huh? There's no reason to be morally conflicted about this. Just kill him, stupid. And nobody,
but see, that's the thing.
Nobody questions it.
And see, that's the thing with her. It's so stupid because then, for no other reason other than LOL, she goes back in time. Gaze thinks she's gonna kill Sogo, but she actually attacks, who we'll talk about later, Swartz. And it's like, why are you suddenly good again? What?
Man,
what happened to trying to kill him? Why aren't you trying to kill ZiO anymore? Because
I don't know. I guess shooting a 7-year-old in the face with a laser gun on TV is probably not something that flies. But I don't know.
But see, that's the thing. Like, as soon as that was done, she never tried to kill him again. She never said anything about it again. She never said you're an asshole to Sogo even once after that. It's like, really? That's what we got here? Okay, whatever. Fuck it. And again, that's her entire character. She does something, then she contradicts herself, then, oh no, don't worry, it's not really a contradiction, we can be friends now.
If there is one positive I can say, now granted, I don't like Tsukiyomi as much as everybody else, especially considering they wasted a decent writer design on her for the last episode. Seriously, they should have just done that early on and whatnot. But yeah, yes, I'm still pissed off about that fucking suit.
Tsukiyomi as a writer didn't serve any fucking purpose.
But what the positive is that they got a good enough, they got an actress who looks very otherworldly, if you get what I mean. You
mean she looks dumbfounded at literally everything that's happening?
She looks like an alien?
Yes. Yes.
Phil, I don't think that's as much of a compliment as a backhanded fucking.
You can't say that.
I mean, to be fair, she does kind of look like the chick out of Kill la Kill with the giant eyebrows.
No.
The point is, she can pull off that look.
No, like if you're looking, if you think of, okay, imagine if they were. Let me finish, please.
No, sorry, just spilled water on myself like a dipshit. Continue.
Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry.
Go.
But I was like, if they had done which I don't know why they would, if they did an adaptation of Arthurian lore, she would be what I would think of as the Lady of the Lake.
Okay, Phil, I'm going to stop you right there and say this. The person who wrote this probably can't even pronounce Arthurian, let alone write it. Okay? He probably doesn't even know what that is. This motherfucker probably thinks high-level reading is the very hungry caterpillar. Alright? This guy, like, and see the thing is, I wouldn't even have minded if Tsukiyomi had become a writer if she had a fucking purpose to be a writer.
Yeah.
Because, like, what did she do as a writer? She was, how pretty.
Betrayed the team, and then did nothing until the end of the episode where she tried to backstab another decade, and then died. She did nothing.
She did exactly what happens to every incidental female writer.
And see, the thing is, did she even need to be a writer to try and attack Schwartz?
Not really, no.
Because we already saw that fucking time trackers can just pull shit out of their asses, which, again, we'll get to that. So, yeah, Tsukiyomi's a fucking useless broad. Like, again, she does nothing. She does nothing. The entire series gets reward. To be fair, I mean, she's kind of the same thing as Sogo. She does nothing, gets rewarded, and then she dies. That's her whole gimmick. So, let's move on from. I'm trying to remember the chick's name from Kill la Kill with the eyebrows, but whatever.
You have to be more specific. There's a lot of them. You mean Satsuki?
Is that the one in white?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Satsuki. Because that's all I could think of, except her face is a little more inflated.
Yeah, she kind
of looks like a chipmunk.
She's a little bit got more of a rounder jaw, but yeah, I can see the resemblance there.
We found the missing fucking chipette.
Wow. Of all the places I didn't expect us to go, it was an Alvin and the Chipmunks joke.
I am really digging the bottom of the barrel tonight.
Hey man, that's the great thing about this podcast. You never know where we're going with it. So, next up, let's talk about the Wazoos.
AKA
Wazins.
AKA the best character in the entire show.
That's not saying much.
So good,
well,
second
best.
Wow.
Oh.
Best original character.
There
best
you go.
New character, yes. I will give you that.
Okay, so let's talk about Waz a bit, because as much as I liked him, I'm sorry. Well, let's talk about let's split them in half, as you will, because there are two of them in this show. Let's go with White Waz and Black Waz. Let's talk about Black Waz first, because he's the main one that we have to talk about.
We can just say Waz,
so Black Waz,
White Waz, I guess, but yeah. So the original Waz, he's pretty straight up about what he wants. He's here from the future on the order of Oma-ZiO to make sure that none of the time travel bullshit happens and that he becomes Oma-ZiO anyways. All right, done. Simple enough. Bam. But there.
Yeah.
I am tired.
but like, see, that's the thing. It makes sense. Okay, yeah, he wanted to be Oma-ZiO, but at the same time, it feels a little nebulous, because it's like, all right, you want to be Oma-ZiO at whatever cost, even if he doesn't become the Oma-ZiO you know, or does you want him to be the Oma-ZiO that he knows, or does it just not matter? He just wants him to have that belt. Like, it doesn't really make sense in that aspect, but I mean, that's the least of my worries that makes sense with Waz, because then we have to get to his fucking powers, which, I'm sorry, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, he sure did have a scarf that did things.
Not
sure why, but hey.
Let's list his powers. Teleports, has a scarf that can fight and teleport. He has energy projectiles. Remember that. He has energy projectiles,
That one
and
time.
he can fly, or at least levitate. How?
Also,
Why?
he somehow has the ability to get into the Gaia library like Philip, but that was only in the movie, so that doesn't count. I don't know why he can. He just can. They never explain why he's able to do it.
Was Lamau.
He does kind of look like Philip.
A little bit.
I think that was I think that was the joke.
But see, that's the thing. Like, he has all these weird little mysteries to him. And see, the thing is, as much as I like characters that have a mystery element to them, sure, that's fine, that's cool. I'm sorry, but fucking after a while, I kind of just want you to explain what the fuck is going on with this guy. That's all I want.
I think that's
like,
what the
why does
movie's
he have
like
these
for.
powers? You see, you say that, and then we're gonna watch the movie, and it just makes it even more confusing.
You know what? It probably does if what Chad said is true. So.
But see, that's the thing. Like in this show, because I don't want to use the movie as an excuse because that's just a little too convenient for my taste. Like in this show, he makes no sense. His powers make no sense. Like he has all this, and he can fight gays while like he can stand toe to toe with gays, for fuck's sake.
That could make sense considering he was the one that worked with Gates, and he probably may have trained him. So yeah, that would make sense.
But see, then we see him fighting like riders too, with his scarf, and I'm like, it's fine to have a civilian power that can help out against people in civilian form, but then you have him fighting against riders, and it's like, how does that work? How strong are you? What is your power level? Which, to be fair, power levels in this show is already fucked up to begin with, but we'll get to that. But, like, what is your power level? What is your fucking... what is it with you? And he has nothing. Like, I don't know what's going on. I mean, his character himself is fine. I like his character. He's cool.
Yeah, he's
But it's just...
he's a nice take on the usual, like, yes man villain type, where he's not really a villain. He just kind of, like, exists to forward the plot for Sogo. He's like, hey, I already know what's gonna happen, so here's what's gonna happen, and I'm gonna be a snarky shit about it. And
you know what the weird... Sorry, go on, James.
No, yeah, you can go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Alright. Well, now I forgot what I was gonna say. God damn it.
Well, I was gonna say, like, he does that for Sogo up to the point where he's just like, fuck it, there's nothing in this book that tells me. I'm lost. The script, they stopped giving me the script, so I don't know what's going on anymore.
Pretty
like
much.
That's literally what happens at a certain point. Like he's just like, yeah, I don't know what's going on either. Like that's what happens.
Just
But again,
seems you,
like,
Chief, totally lost.
I'm right there, buddy. But fucking, as a character, again, he's fine, but I don't know. I have a feeling like he would be second best character in a show where they would actually have good characters. Because in this show, he has nothing really to go up against until we get to Decade. Like, really nothing.
Not
Yeah,
really.
it's easy to shine when the field is dark.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's kind of sad, because I think the guy who played Woz did a really damn good job.
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
by far
He
the best
made the show very entertaining. Whereas without, it just would have kind of bored me to tears. I'm just like, oh god,
Yeah.
what's he gonna say and do now?
Honestly, I think with him being there in the first few episodes, I think that's kind of what captivated me, because I was thinking, all right, this guy I like this guy. What's his deal? What's going on with him? I like that, because that actually gave me something to look forward to, because fuck knows, I didn't give a shit about Sogo. I got so bored with that kid.
If this was better written, you could say that Woz is the Virgil to Sogo's Dante.
I guess I can see where you're going with, at least. But speaking of Black Woz, let's talk about White Woz.
Yeah.
We're gonna do some whitewashing. Ha ha.
Speaking of ham, Man, he really got the opportunity to ham things up in a completely different way with White Walls.
I mean, hey,
now
see
Nemeth.
Then yourself, right?
Now see Nemeth. He wasn't just going ham. He was going full-on cured marble sugar ham.
Oh yeah, like double glazed, triple smoked, with
honey smoked,
with lettuce, cheddar, and a nice rye bread.
No.
He was doing the whole sandwich.
It is.
Honey glazed or maple glazed? Why not both?
That's White Walls. But okay, so
he went Dan Kuroto levels.
Now see, here's the thing about White Walls that also and it's weird because with White Walls, it's not so much his character as it is his motivation. So let's talk about him because he kind of brings up one of the worst fucking parts of this show, and it's the time travel. And I think we can talk about that with him because he is basically where a lot of the problems stem.
Yeah.
So White Walls. So besides the fact that his book literally does just control the future. By the way, how? Like literally, how does that work?
Fuck that book.
Like, because they try and say it early on that it's like, I only lead the future. It's like, nah, boy, you are actually fucking telling the future what to do. Like, that's what's happening. Don't fucking try that. Then he comes through with the whole multiple timelines and multiple whatevers, different writers from different timelines, and that's not even getting to the fucking dream writers. So, multiple writers from different timelines. Okay, that's fine. So, what I had to ask about the whole fucking what I had to ask about the whole like timeline thing where he comes back for gays and everything was like, what was the point? Because literally this entire thing could have just been fixed if you just went back into like you could have just dragged gays to your timeline and that was it, or you could have just dragged what was I gonna say? There was something I was gonna say about that. I can't remember. Someone go on.
Yeah, I mean my problem that I was kind of getting into there with White Walls is that he shows up and he's like, oh hey ZiO is definitely evil, you definitely saved the world, just trust me bro, it's real, it's all real, don't ask questions at all.
I don't have my own agenda.
Exactly. He shows up. He very clearly has his own agenda there. And nobody questioned it. And because that's the thing is that a lot of people were really annoyed about White Walls when he first showed up. And he really throughout most of his time on the show because he shows up and is immediately like, oh hey, I'm here to help you, stop the guy who's going to become Time Hitler and take over the world. And he's treated as a bad guy because of it. But the show doesn't do anything to be like, give us a reason to think he's a bad guy. And
yeah, because all he's saying is that gays, you're gonna kill, literally Hitler.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that if the idea was that he's supposed to be the bad guy, he's supposed to be tricking Waz and he's going to be tricking himself, tricking gays into creating an even worse future, or tricking them to fuck up the history or whatever. They never really, allude to that or show it at all. He's just,
Yeah, because, I would have assumed, maybe it's a thing of, Gaze himself is going to be an evil dictator or something. But no, they never say anything. They never show anything about that.
Is that, with the whole thing where Gaze revived kind of has, semi-time powers with the super speed and everything. I kind of expected it to be he's it's such a perfect and totally lawful and orderly future. I was expecting them to go full Soul Calibur, and it's the entire world is encased in ice or crystals or whatever, and everybody's frozen in time and nothing happens, and it's all everybody's imprisoned basically, so there really is no future. I thought they were gonna go that route, and that would have been cool, but no, they just you definitely saved the world. I'm not going to show you anything. We're not going to show the audience either, but just trust us,
Oh,
yeah,
what's it like? Oh, just like now.
Only
Gaze
not.
asked him one time, and he's like, "Oh, it's nice, it's peaceful, everybody's happy, yeah." And then
it's kind of like that little kid fishing. That's kind of all we do. We just fish.
Pretty much.
Okay, so now I remember my point. What I was saying about so he brings people from other timelines, right? He brought Quiz from the other timelines.
Well, technically,
so
he
I was
really
thinking
only brought one. I mean, there was 3,
well, Quiz.
but he only physically brought one of them with him. Yeah.
Well, with Quiz, I was thinking to myself, okay, he has the power to bring people from other timelines. So I was thinking to myself, why does he bother bringing gays? Like, why does he bother even bringing gays to revive? Like, why does he actually bother telling him you have to have the revive power? Because if he doesn't give a shit about fucking with the time-space continuum at all, as we saw him literally not giving a shit about that, why doesn't he just bring future gays to kill Sogo?
Like, I'm sure that's like a
you literally
time
have
paradox thing, because then the real gays...
But he doesn't give a shit!
Well, no, true, but then the real gays would never become revive or never have a reason to, and then...
Well, CJ, if you want to talk about time paradoxes right now, you want to talk about time paradoxes?
Oh, no.
Let's talk about Swartz. All right? Let's talk about Swartz.
Well, yeah, let's talk about the villains of the show. They fucking suck. They're boring.
Can we just lump Oda and together, because they have nothing?
Oh, actually, okay. So let's talk about them real quick, because let's talk about them, and then we'll talk about Swartz, and I can go on my big ass fucking rant. So, with Oda and Swartz, I don't know why why am I saying Swartz? I'm saying
At least you didn't say kid.
Can I just say, when I first saw when I saw episode 1, they didn't say they called them Wool, like WOLL.
Yeah,
like the subs were Wool.
Overtime just kind of went ham with his name because they kept like changing their mind, and then eventually we got the actual translation, and it's like screw it, might as well.
Yeah. Okay. So, I mean, Oda and they don't do much until really the end. And even then, what they do is fucking stupid. So here we go. So their whole thing is to basically bring about a new king, so Sogo doesn't become king, right? Now, at the beginning, it doesn't really make sense. I mean, it'll make sense for Swartz, but what exactly does and Oda get out of this?
We don't know.
Yeah, we never get their backstories or any information about them at all. So. They have zero motivation or, like, zero reason to, like, want to help Swartz or want to, like, change the history or anything like that. We know fuck all about these two. So they're just helping Swartz for some reason, I guess. I don't know. They vaguely allude to the fact that, he gave them their powers, but, like, why did he choose them? Why did they, like, agree? Like, what?
Exactly. All of this was just making me go, okay, but why? Okay, but for what? Okay, what does that mean? Okay, what does that have to do with anything? Like that's been me the entire show, where I'm just thinking to myself, yeah, but why? What does it matter? Or like, why did he do this? And they never explain any of it, especially with the time jackers. Which, by the way, can the time jackers just go through time as they see fit? Do they need the time machine? Or are their powers literally just they can stop time and rewind it? Like, what exactly is their power limit? Because then they also have stuff like energy projectiles and making energy rope and fucking just all of this weird shit. And I'm just thinking to myself, and not just that, are they the only ones who can make another writers, or can other people make them? Or what is going on? Like, none of it is explained, and it just pissed me off the entire time, because I'm just thinking, this would be so much better if you just told me what was going on, and not just try and allude to it without ever explaining once what's going on, what's not going on. And it pissed me off, because especially with and Oda towards the end, they do something so amazingly fucking stupid with that I couldn't even fucking believe it. So, let me set the groundwork for you guys. So, Swartz, evil, whatever, blah, blah, blah. So, Oda gets her powers taken away by Swartz, because he can do that, because, yeah, why not? So, he gets his powers taken away from Swartz, and in order to get them back, what does she do? She kills Now, she kills him, and then she goes to Swartz saying, okay, I killed the little bastard, give me my powers back. Swartz then immediately kind of like just betrays her again, and he's just like, no, you're fucking stupid. I knew you were going to fucking try and betray me. And see, the thing is, if her entire plan was to betray Swartz for no other reason than to try and kill him. Why kill It's not like he checked.
Right?
Yeah, that was.
She didn't have a reason to kill him.
Because
it's not like he went to her and say, "Now bring me his head."
Yeah, equally did not like Schwartz as much as she did, so it really just it made zero sense.
The thing is, if anything, had more of a fucking reason to hate him because they shoved in another writer in his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
He literally got taken by Schwartz, and Schwartz just like, "Hey, look at this. What?
Here, have a woodlouse in the face."
Like, if I was I'd be fucking livid.
Same.
Why are you still around these guys?
Right, and that's
like,
another thing that's annoying too, is that none of them die until like the last 3 episodes. We never get any new ones, so they just end up being stagnant. Like they make a joke about like the obligatory, oh, we need to add the new villain in after the Christmas rush, but the closest we get is a one-off villain who never shows up again ever. And so the rest of
pretty much.
Yeah, and then that's the thing, is that we don't learn anything about any of the 3 until the very end of the show when we get Swartz's backstory. So the other 2 are just there. They just exist.
doesn't do anything. Aura doesn't do anything. They're there mainly just to. I can't even say sell toys, because you wouldn't even have needed them to show the another writer watches, because Schwartz can do it. All of them can do it just fine. So then when you kill off just for Aura to try and betray Schwartz, like, was there an ulterior motive where she wanted to be the queen instead of Schwartz? We don't know. Was there a reason she had to kill Did she feel remorse? I don't know. Did she have to kill It doesn't seem like she did. She could have just just told Schwartz, "I killed the bastard." Again,
and then they team
he
up on
didn't
him.
check.
Yeah, like they could have done that, and that's how they both died. But no, she just murders him for no reason, and then she dies as well.
See, in my logical mind, wouldn't 2 timejackers and 3 writers be better against another writing timejacker?
Yeah.
Wouldn't 2 of them work better instead of 1? Are
Numbers
you
are
an idiot?
an advantage.
Especially with one of the team members becoming a writer and timejacker, though that's at the end of the series, mind you.
And this comes to let's talk about Schwartz real quick, because this is going to come to the reason why this show pisses me off so much. So Schwartz, who is he? Who is Schwartz Bruder? Oh wait, no, that's a good show. Who is Schwartz?
Well, it ends up being accurate because he is the brother of another character.
Oh my God, you're right.
Oh.
He literally is Schwartz Bruder. It's
Wow.
it's sort of rhymes. Wait, Jay, are you saying that ZiO is about family?
Yes, ZiO is about family.
In a way. Oh, I got it in there. I love this. This is great. So yeah, fucking. It really doesn't. So we find out Schwartz is the brother of Tsukiyomi, whose real name is Alpina, who I said sounds like a really, really bad water brand, like a purified water brand. Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a German. It's a Swiss or German watch brand.
See,
Makes
I
sense.
thought it was it sounds like a water brand because it's Alpina, Alps, whatever.
But
So-
Swiss Alps watches.
This is some high IQ shit we're going down with right now.
It's some watch catalog shit.
Well, it's better than her name Tsukiyomi, which is based off of the moon spirit in Shinto mythology. Though that particular character happens to be a man, not a woman.
Well, see,
fine.
I'm assuming. Then again, I don't know. I don't live in Japan. Maybe someone can tell me. Is Tsukiyomi maybe a watch brand? Maybe
No,
she
I
has
don't
something to do
think
with
so.
watches. Oh, you know what? Maybe you could just say Tsukiyomi moon. People tell time from the moon. Fuck it, I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Anyways,
We're putting as much effort into it as the writers did.
we're putting more.
Yeah.
So Schwartz Shivai Shivergen. So Schwartz is the brother of fucking Tsukiyomi, who is Alpina, and they're a part of a royal family in this world that's being destroyed. The family of Decade. I don't know, Decade's family. We'll go with that. Anyways, so it's a royal family. So basically what's happening is their world's gonna be destroyed. Okay, so here's the plan. Here's fucking his beautiful plan here. He's going to Schwartz is going to take every world, mush them up together, and then destroy it. That's what I'm getting with, right? That's what he said.
Except for his own, yeah.
Okay, so he's going to, but he said every world, he never once said excluding. Unless that's supposed to be implied.
It was implied. It was heavily implied that, that his world was going to be destroyed because of other worlds. So he was like, so I'll just destroy all the other ones. Just smash them all together and smack them all at once.
So then, we hear Schwartz talking about fucking Tsukiyomi and Sogo, and he says, "You and Tsukiyomi cannot exist in this world."
How?
Which doesn't make sense because we never once saw any time paradoxes, any glitches, any weird fucking timey-wimey monsters coming around.
I mean,
we didn't even get anything.
There's a lot of times where they allude to that, more so later on, but it's very vague, where you'll have characters mention, oh hey, what about this thing from their show? Or, they'll make an allusion to something that, they doesn't make sense because of the timeline of the new show or whatever. And we'll
this place got built up real fast.
Yeah, well,
right?
Yeah, fucking in the Kabuto episode when Kagami's just like, hey, since when was Shibuya not a flaming, smoldering crater in the ground? And he's like, they're all like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, huh? Okay, I guess I'm just crazy and Shibuya never got flattened by a meteor then. Whatever. And
we'll get to that.
Yeah, because I've got some questions.
We'll get to how they just literally bent over the Heisei riders and rammed them with a fucking spiked codpiece.
Hey, who knows? Maybe that was the whole point of of Schwartz and Tsukiyomi.
Oh my god! Could you imagine Could you imagine if Samoyama comes out and he's like, "Well, the reason nothing makes sense is because it was all paradoxes. Everything was changed every episode." God, I can hear it now.
When SS Gridman actually makes more sense in 12 episodes than a 49 episode Kamen Rider.
See, at least Gridman, had rules that it didn't decide to just say, "Yeah, go fuck yourself."
Yes!
This one literally just said, "Yeah, go fuck yourself, kids. Don't worry about it. Buy our toys." So
buy your toys.
Like I said, this entire thing was just for them to destroy their worlds, and then Tsukiyomi's just like, "No, I don't want you to destroy my world," and then he gets fucked over by Tsukiyomi and then dies. That is Schwartz. That's Schwartz. Oh my god, my head hurts already from this guy. So now with that going on, I think it's time for me to actually talk about what got me so pissed off with. Actually, no, no. Let's talk about Decade. Let's talk about Decade because he actually has a fucking prominent role in this show.
Indeed.
Yeah, so everybody
Decade's back.
Kind of memed it into being Decade 2, and then the show ended up really kind of just being Decade 2 by the end.
Pretty much.
When they started using the musical stings from Decade, I was just like, finally, the show figured out what I wanted.
Right? I was so annoyed.
We have been saying we wanted Decade 2.
Way.
We've been saying we wanted Decade 2 since fucking Gaim. And it happened, kind of. And I'm fucking laughing about it.
Yeah, it happened. And a finger on the monkey's paw closed.
I can tell you his...
Oh, no!
I don't know, at least the show had an ending, so...
Oh.
True. But,
let's
I'm just happy to have more Masahiro in a way.
I can tell you this, Masahiro was probably very happy to come out of Toei's basement. Like, finally, I'm needed!
I think he's in the basement. He's making money. He's on fucking stage show. He's in fucking stage plays and
CJ, what you don't know What you don't know, Jay, is that they actually had to film that in the basement. He can't. He's
does explain the
contractually
set
not allowed
for
to
Jenga.
leave.
But if you, like me, need more Masahiro Inoue in your life, go watch Jenga. That's all I'm saying.
Just don't watch Gold
So
Storm.
yeah, his role in ZiO kind of amounts to just him going to ZiO and telling him, "Okay, your shit's fucked, and I can try and help you, but I don't really feel like it. So yeah, get bent."
Yeah, he starts off antagonistic to Sogo and the crew because he's working with the Time Jackers for vaguely defined reasons. He never really explains why he was helping them. He just is.
I always assumed it was his own amusement because that seems to be the only reason he ever does anything.
I always thought it was because it was a pretty
outside
girl
of his own series.
Well, obviously, of course, but I mean, they never say it directly, so we're just kind of left wondering, does he have some like scheme going on? Is he just here to fuck around?
Even then, right? Even then, his fucking bullshit amounts to like, "Oh, gays, I'm gonna break your ghost watch. Here, I'll just have this decade watch. Fuck you." You know what it is? That entire scene amounted to the exact scene where Fias got his like Axel watch just thrown at him. Only
Here's
somehow
a
even
stupid.
more.
It literally is.
Only somehow even more disrespectful because fucking Decade was just like, yeah, sure, whatever. She just drops it on case.
And you look at it, it's the same damn molding. It's the same damn Axel watch.
It reminded me so much of it.
God.
It's so weird.
I didn't realize it, but you might be right.
Right? So he gives him the Decade watch. Decade for most of the show. I mean, even like I think like a little bit after that, he kind of just disappears until I think the 30s, and he comes back, and he's just kind of, I'm Decade.
No, he shows up
Yay.
again, like right near the end of the White Waz stuff, and then he comes back and he's there for the rest of the show around like 41. 42.
Then we get Decade with gun, his final form.
When he has a gun.
He just has a gun. See, that's the thing about Decade is that his role in the show, I feel like it was, as much as I want to say it's pandering, it kind of is, but at the same time I feel like they were trying to be like giving Sogo the rub from Decade, but it didn't work because all that happened was I wanted to see just Decade. I wanted Sogo to fuck off and just this turn into Decade 2. I wanted one episode where like the logo like transmorphs into Decade just to fuck with us.
I wholly
admit.
Oh,
sorry guys. Oh, sorry.
I wholly admit that when once Decade started showing up regularly, I was much more invested in watching the show.
True.
That's 'cause it actually starts getting kind of good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
In the sense that we have Decade, yeah. But like that's the thing, like I wanted to see more of just him because I didn't give a shit about Sogo or this plot or another writers. It's just like, something's fucked up when he turned into ZiO, and I like him way more as ZiO.
Yeah.
He has way more charisma as ZiO.
Man, really?
Like that's fucked.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Decade, of course, steals the show. He's by and far the best actor of the show entirely. Every single line he has is the best. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah, I was just about to say, I'm pretty sure he just ignored the script at points and just kind of said whatever the fuck he wanted at points. Because there's times where he'll be cracking jokes like Waz is doing his usual UI, blah 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 blah, writer, whatever. He's bragging about ZiO, and then he's just like, who the hell are you talking to?
Right?
Or he'll be standing there in the background just dicking around and messing with stuff, or eating food and making a weird face in the camera. Or,
my favorite one is during the whole arc where no one remembers Sogo, where it's he takes his helmet off and just starts stealing people's bread.
Yeah, that's the one where they walk into the secret resistance base and he's just eating their food. And no reason at all. He just starts picking it up and,
It's this is my shit now.
Act like you belong and no one will question.
Well, I am great leader of Shocker after all. I can have what I want.
Yeah, what are you gonna do? Stop me?
What are you gonna do? Try and shoot me? And then no one tries to shoot him because they get their asses kicked.
Yeah,
Though I will say, Decade himself does start, giving us the whole, power levels are bullshit in this show immediately, because he starts standing up to like ZiO in like ride armors immediately, like with no fucking problem. He starts being able to beat these guys in their ride armors, which are supposed to be pretty strong, and he's defeating them really easily just in his decade form. And it's really weird because it starts leading to more and more power level bullshit. But we'll get into that when we start talking about the major problems here.
And it gets into that. Well, even then, it's like the only time he really ends up having like an actual like challenge in a fight is when he's fighting another version of himself. And even then, it turns out when he just gets his powers back because, I only had half my powers anyways because the watch had the other half. So he's at half strength the entire time, and he's still easily beating every single rider and every single villain. Which
like you said, he's at half strength. He's at half strength, and he somehow can still keep up with another Decade by himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like not beat him, but still keep up. Like what?
He's still like level to level with another Decade. He loses because of plot, but even at like half Decade power, he still is able to beat him, which makes you wonder what the hell does another Decade have? Because like how the hell does that work? Like did he only steal the other half or?
We'll see, Jay, as you can see. Well, CJ, as you can see, now we can tell who the real main eventer is and who the fucking jobbers are. Decade's the fucking main eventer here. So like I was saying, so now, is there any other characters besides? I mean, DN doesn't really fucking matter. So
DN shows up for a couple of episodes or earlier on. They show him working with fucking ZiO, and then they never do anything with that at all. Ever. It is literally never mentioned again.
He's pretty much just, hi, I'm here, that's my husband. We're fighting, as always.
Tsukasa's telling him to fuck off.
That line caught me so off guard when it was like, yo, stop fucking flirting, just fight. I was like, oh, alright.
Yeah, I want to see other people's takes on that one.
Yeah,
really?
I was waiting for overtimes personally to see that translation.
At the time of recording, the only one that we know that's out right now is the Rider Time. At least that's the one I watched. You guys too?
That's the one I watched.
Yeah. I saw that when it came out on Sunday.
Watch it subbed, so.
Actually, it was kind of funny because I actually saw something about that on Twitter where people were like, well, maybe that's not what he actually said because it sounded a little different. Maybe it's just a little weird. I don't know,
Yeah.
I mean, again, I guess it's all up to interpretation at the end of the day.
Yeah, but it is a great joke going back to whatever that one big crossover movie was that I can't remember that was terrible, but was essentially a spat between the two of them.
Yeah.
A lover's quarrel. But yeah, I think that's everybody that we have to talk about character-wise now.
Yep.
That I can remember.
Yeah.
What about his uncle?
What
his
about
uncle?
the uncle?
His uncle was a great uncle. He solved all the problems with food and watchmaking.
He was old enough to be his great uncle.
Fix
Jesus.
those watches?
He's a fucking watch repairman.
No, you don't
ask
get it.
questions.
Jay,
It's literally his job,
when
Phil.
we watched
Literally
the
his
Raws-
job.
When we watched the Raws, I got into the point where Shogo comes in with the damn Grand ZiO watch. I did not know about the stuff earlier. I just watched it earlier, and I'm thinking, how the fuck did he fix those?
See, the thing is, we're never shown that the watches are even work like actual watches. So they could just be called ride watches, but we don't know if they actually work like fucking watches. What do the fucking memories from Double work like actual USBs?
Fuck it.
I think they did release a set of those.
They may as well.
How many gigabytes do they got?
They may as well be Happy Meals.
Oh,
2 gigs, I
probably
think.
not many.
What did the people in fucking Gaim use the fucking lock seat as actual locks?
I'm pretty sure Kota did it.
Kota?
Once.
Yeah. That wouldn't surprise me.
It wouldn't.
I don't know. That thing kind of did weird me out. But I mean, the uncle didn't do anything. The uncle was The uncle was comic relief, kind of overbearingly comic relief, which I'm going to get into that again because it's another problem I need to get into. It's overbearingly comic relief, and really that's about it. Like the one time I actually liked the uncle, like really really liked him, was when I felt bad that honestly he has to put up with fucking Sogo. Like, here's this guy, puts all his love and effort into what he does, and then you got a fucking shitty slacker of a nephew. Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Like,
this kid's like going around saying, I'm going to be king.
Right?
Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
this kid's just like, I'm going to be king, I'm going to be king.
I think my favorite point when he's just giving up trying to deal with it. He's just like, get a fucking job, give up on this stupid shit. Enough. I'm tired of it. I think my favorite part where he's like, oh yeah, I still want to be king. And he's like, oh yeah, how about the king of getting a job, maybe?
Oh!
Burn.
But see, that's what I'm saying. Like, when the uncle actually started, like, maybe getting a fucking character, okay, cool. Then it just stopped.
Yeah.
It just kind of stopped. And it was just like, come on. Come on, man. Give us something more here. But that's just the way it is, I guess. So I think now that we've gone through all the characters, let's actually talk about the plot and the utter fucking disgusting shit they did with this fucking plot.
Oh boy.
Because I'll say it right now. I said it to Phil, and I'm going to say it again till my fucking throat goes sore. This plot amounts to, we have rules that we break to make more rules to break with rules that we've already broken. That is most of this. That's most of the show.
Yeah, it's like the rule breaking in Ghost, only they did it more.
Not only that, but they broke rules with rules they legit already broke.
Yep.
Honestly,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's take for example this. So the whole thing about Another Riders, because episode 1, people, they show that the Another Rider not only is supposed to get the powers, it's supposed to replace the Rider, it's also supposed to, from what they showed, supposed to actually think they are the Rider with some memories of, who they are. Like, another build, he saw Cross. Another build, Cross, best match. Everybody remembers that scene. Nobody fucking mentions it, though. So, at least somewhat, he's supposed to remember, okay, this is my memories from being a writer. Okay, makes sense. Then they just kind of start dropping that. They start dropping it slowly from the Another Writer doesn't actually have to come from the timeline. They can come from literally fucking any time, which brings up a fucking thing of, if you really need to take Another Writer's powers, why not do it somewhere where they'll never guess, like 1872?
Pretty much.
Because they showed that it doesn't matter where you take the powers from, and then they start showing that maybe the Another Writers doesn't actually take the powers away anymore, and then they start showing that no, they don't even lose the memories anymore, and then they start showing that when they get the ride watches, oh, we can just get them back, whatever. It's just here you go, have your watch, cool, click, I'm back to being Blade. What the fuck?
What about with Another ZiO? Explain how that worked.
Oh my god, that one's stupid. That one right there is when I officially.
Because at that was the point where we don't give a shit about these rules anymore. Because.
But see, that's the thing. When you get to that point, when you can physically feel the ambivalence, I'm just like, God, this is awful. And see, that's the thing about a lot of the problems in this show is that they have problems introduced where it's a problem they have no way of working around, whether it be from a mirror monster, whether it be from a different world, a different timeline, or altogether a fucking dream where they have no way of actually beating this thing, and then they do, because LOL.
JK.
Like with fucking another Ryuga. How do they beat him? Do they go to the mirror world to get Ryuki's ride watch? No, they just get ZiO too. Or because again, they basically give up on the whole fact that you need the ride watch of the rider to beat the riders. So I'm like, why do you even need them? Why do you even need to get them? What's the point? Just use another ZiO. Or just use ZiO2. Just use Guy's Typhoon. Use fucking
Trinity.
Waz Ginga. Use Trinity. What's the point of getting the ride watches anymore other than wasting my fucking time?
Because we need it for the final form, that's why.
It's so stupid. And there's multiple times where like the villains could have points. Like what's his name? Hiryu, the fucking jackass that was another ZiO and another ZiO2.
I only remember from some weird like
Kakagawa Hiryu, I think.
Chinese to English subs I found by accident where he was like Kakugira Flying Flow or some dumb shit.
Beautiful.
That's a way better name.
I love it.
Kakugira Flying Flow. But okay, so he has the power to reverse time. And he has at many points to kill ZiO because he can reverse time. He can fucking do whatever he wants with time basically because of another ZiO2. And he doesn't do it. The dumbass actively refuses to kill this guy because he needs to suffer. Motherfucker! You have a gun pointed to his head and you decide to explain your evil plan? Really? You're going Bond? Fuck you. That's stupid. Like, this entire fucking show has things like that where they have very, very, very obvious points where you can kill them. You can win. And you don't take it because the writer of this show doesn't know how to get around it. You don't give somebody like the opposition. You don't give the opposition 10 seconds away from clicking the nuke, only for them to sneeze and forget they're about to release the nukes. You can't do that because that's just bad writing, completely. Like, it honestly started to fucking baffle me with how many times they had these fucking problems where it's just like, this show should have been over eons ago because there's no reason for these guys to just let them. I mean, the time jackers in reality can stop time and just shoot Sogo on the fucking head. That's all they can do. I mean, come on. I know kids show, whatever, but still, you know what I mean. I don't know. It's the whole thing just got to me where I was just thinking to myself, why don't they just take the easy way? Because again, Shimoyama doesn't know how to get himself out of a hole that he dug himself into, like, at all. I mean, it's true.
Well, what about him?
We learned nothing.
Wait, say what?
Sorry.
It's like we learned nothing from the last time he wrote a show.
Right? But that's what I'm saying. Like, the entire time I'm here, I'm just thinking, can you at least try to, like, not make it seem like this is a super Deus Ex Machina? Because again, like, ZiO2, that was a Deus Ex Machina, no matter how you fucking put it, because of the fucking mirror world. And then another Kikai was just the dumbest one, because it's in a dream, for fuck's sake. A fucking dream. How did that even work? Does anybody actually have an explanation of how that worked?
I think they explained it as his mind was shaping the future or something.
Which he never does again at all.
Yeah.
His mind was shaping the future. That's
it was
so
like,
bad.
Yeah, and it was doing it in his dreams, so it was some sort of innate ability or something. It was a while ago. I've largely moved past it.
An ability that he never uses again.
Nope, even though, there's plenty of good reason why he should, but he never uses it again.
Which, by the way, if we're talking about abilities that he never uses again, how about let's remember when he used Time Jacker powers as a kid?
Oh, God.
Yeah, that happens.
I remember that.
And then he never uses it again? Because, okay, I was under the impression, okay, you need Swartz or Tsukiyomi to give you the time powers, right? Okay, fine. Where did he get them when he was nowhere near those two?
Don't know.
Like, and why did he never use them again?
Why not?
Because again, this all goes back to the same problem of Shimoyama introduces something or writes in something that obviously cannot be written around, and now he has to fucking dig himself out of a fucking hole. And it's so infuriating because he keeps doing it over and over.
It's less he's digging himself out of the hole and more he's making the hole worse.
Yeah, it's like he's trying to decorate the hole, trying to say, "Look, it's not a hole; it's a underground condo."
Like, you remember when it was Kiva's episode, and there was that whole point where Sogo basically just had his tongue hanging down to the floor because he felt that another Kiva was the woman who helped him as a child, and he fell in love with her.
The Kiva arc, aka Sogo gets a boner.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, that woman's...
That's the entire arc.
That woman's got to be, like... First of all, that woman's got to be, like, much older than Sogo is currently at the age of the character. Second off, as we've talked about in Gridman, never stick your dick in crazy.
Hey, man. Like a fine wine. Like a fine wine. I mean, let's be honest, man. Again, not to steer your gimmick, but she did age like a fine wine. I don't even know who she is, but...
She was from Kiva.
Oh, was she?
Yeah.
Another Kiva?
That was our cameo for Kiva. Well, that
Wait, no.
Wolfgang.
You're talking about... No, you're talking about... now I can't remember her name. I know who you're talking about at the end. I'm talking about another Kiva herself.
Uh-huh.
Oh, no, she was from G. I'm not surprised you don't remember because nobody saw Kamen Rider G.
I saw
it
Rider
once.
G.
It was unofficial.
I saw it
My
once.
point stands.
I've seen clips of it.
But yeah, like the whole thing is just like it. I mean, with that one, that was literally just Sogo gets a boner, and that's why. Because again, like most of the plot.
That episode was let's invite Toshiki Inoue to write.
I was about to say.
Not at all care what he presents to us, like always.
Like with Ginga. Oh yeah, let's bring in Ginga and then have him job immediately.
Hey, Inoue, we need you to shill this, and he's just like, all right, and then he throws it into the corner and writes his weird like love like supervillain subplot because.
I wouldn't be surprised if he had like a. I wouldn't be surprised if he had like an unused script for Kiva, and he's just like, all right, we need you to write in something for Ginga too. All right, can you give me a script? Sure. He just throws it out and it's just in like little brackets he puts in insert Ginga here. All right, here's your script. Have fun.
That sounds about right.
Oh my god, that is how that episode felt.
It kind of did, and not only that, but Ginga fucking jobs out another Kiva so easily too. It's fucking hilarious.
It's like basically he's like, I am the most powerful rider here. I'm gonna kick your asses, and then Waz Ginga watch. Oh fuck! I might actually be in trouble.
You know your villain writer sucks when he's solar powered. And he turns into stone.
Hey, Superman is solar powered, so why the hell not?
But does he turn into stone at night?
No, he does. He turns.
He's not a gargoyle.
We got Alvin and the Chipmunks and Gargoyles. Where are we going next on this road trip?
Man.
Fucking. But yeah, like that's what I'm saying. Like, most of these episodes do feel like just. Okay, now what? You know what? Does anybody remember that one clip from this one seminar, I believe, that Trey Parker and Matt Stone did, where how to write your story, where it shouldn't be, you should never have a fucking what is
ending.
it? The and then. No, you should never have something between scenes. Like, what was it? And then? I think it's and then, something like that. I'm trying to remember the exact quote. But essentially the way this is written is just, Shimoyama going, and then this, and then this, and then this, but really this, but then also this, but then this, and then this, but also really this. Like, it's just the fucking circle that he can't get out of. Like, let's see. Well, actually, you know what? I think this is a good time to talk about the individual arcs, because they're really fucking easy to talk about. They're super short.
Yeah.
What was the first one? It was fucking...
Build,
Build, of course.
Build.
X-Aid.
X-Aid.
Ghost?
No.
Ghost was
It
a
was
bit
Wizard
later.
first.
Wizard.
It was Wizard, Forza 5.
Because they couldn't get anybody
Same.
from Forza besides
Besides-
OC.
Yeah, they were busy doing the Bleach movie.
Wasn't Jake supposed to come back? JK?
I don't know. He's one of those guys who desperately wants to keep coming back, but I guess he's just not popular enough for them to warrant spending the money. So he's like, "Hey, I might be coming back," and then he's, they don't.
They couldn't have gotten Meteor back?
No, he was busy doing.
Yeah, I actually got kind of excited
Yeah.
because they said
They were both-
it starts with a meteor.
They were
Yeah,
both
they were both-
in the Bleach movie.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were both filming Bleach, so they were busy as hell.
They could have gotten Yuki.
No. See, I'm not gonna lie. When they said it'll start with a meteor, I was like, "Oh shit, they got Meteor back! Oh, that's fucking great!" And then no.
They could have gotten Yuki's actress back. Oh, wait, we can't because she's in a cult now.
Yeah, that.
We could have gotten
Nobody
the goth
cares
chick
enough
back.
about the maybe. I don't know. It literally.
The goth.
anybody
I mean,
but
the goth
Bleach
chick is a
would've been,
fucking historian.
Would have been better. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, anything besides the new Kamen Rider Club, those guys were fucking annoying as.
At least they got the teacher guy.
He was at least
Yeah.
funny.
Well,
I liked him.
We got Takumi and Kusaka, so I guess
Yeah.
that's a fair trade-off.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah.
I mean, that one wasn't really too bad. It was just whatever. Really, when problems really started coming for me was like shit with Ghost, where it's like, guys, remember when Takaru had spirit detective powers? We could just use the Force?
remember.
I fucking.
Remember how Spectre literally shows up out of fucking nowhere and with no prompting. Or
Oh my
explanation,
God, yes.
and he isn't in the rest of the arc.
I forgot about that.
No, see, what's funny is that I kind of got a little like. I kind of got like. My ears kind of perked up a bit when I saw fucking. When I saw the fucking takoyaki truck, and I'm just like, oh my god, are they really gonna make fucking Alan like somebody who works at a takoyaki stand? And no, they just never. I don't even know why they put it in there if you didn't want me to think
Because
that they got Alan
that's
back.
the meme, okay? That's the thing.
Takoyaki Lamau.
I don't even remember what came after that.
Let's see.
Then there was.
Let me look through my
that's-
notes because they should be here.
I think.
I think
let's
Decade
see.
came up then.
No, yeah, Decade showed up during that arc.
O's!
Yeah.
O's was next.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah,
was
you're
before-
Oz
like-
was earlier, I
before that.
think.
Where they got Dan Kuroto, Danger Dan, the Zombie Man.
For
Him
no
wanting to-
reason.
Another O's.
Him wanting to
Well,
violate
because he's
Hina.
popular.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that sounds like Dan.
That was that.
Or-
I
And-
got
and
that
see-
song that's like leave.
Well,
her
actually, I was
alone.
gonna
It's like,
mention that.
Leave
I was gonna
Hina
mention that.
alone.
I was gonna mention that. So it was around the time of O's. I mean, they did a little bit before, but it's mainly with O's, where they just started saying, "Hey kids, you remember this show? Fuck you, we're gonna change continuity now." Where they basically turned Dan into Dr. Maki for some reason. Like he's basically the insert for Dr. Maki because I guess they couldn't get the actor back.
I think he's
Fucking,
dead.
it was so.
No, he's not dead.
No, he's not.
I think he is. I didn't know.
He wasn't that old, was he?
No, he's not dead yet.
Okay, good. So, like I was saying, so we got fucking Dan basically being the Dr. Maki. We got O's, who is never O's now. Never. Like, at all, apparently. He just became a politician.
Even though Aqua clearly acknowledges him.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, at that point was like, did they just change continuity entirely for, like, O's to never exist?
Well, that's kind of my thing that I was gonna get into, especially more near the end once they start getting into more about what exactly is going on. Oh, thank you. Somebody just posted the arc list. I was like, oh, okay, what the fuck came next? Here we are sitting around trying to fucking figure this out.
Well, this is a good thing.
But no, what I was saying is there. God damn it. Anyways, yeah.
Something about
once the show gets near the end there, where they start more revealing what's exactly going on with the timelines and the other worlds and all that stuff, and I have a feeling that a lot of this was either them trying to make up for lazy writing or intentionally bad writing, I'm not sure. We'll get more into that once we explain the ending, I guess, but it's just kind of all over the place where, like, some shows, okay, they'll give, like, a decent lip service to the plot, and then other times it's just them being half-assed, like the Gaim arc, like, okay, they mentioned the ride, the Beat Riders, that's what they were called, and there's Helheim, and Kaido's in Helheim for some reason. He apparently has been
but Kota's still God?
Kota's God, but then he isn't, but then he is.
But, like, none of it makes sense because it's just like, okay, I understand that this is still probably around the time where they could remove the another rider's powers and all that shit, but I'm just like, but none of it makes sense anyways because where's everybody else? Where's Michi? Where's Mai? I mean, trust me, I wouldn't want to see fucking Michi again, but, like, at least that would have made sense. Like, where did any of this come from? Like, everything got so fucking changed. And again, it happened again with fucking Ghost, where, look, I am nobody to try and defend Ghost, and I am nobody to try and to get mad about Ghost continuity, but my god, when you have Takeru literally, when he has the literal force to push stuff out of the way and can remove souls from bodies, I need a fucking explanation because they never mentioned this ever anywhere in Ghost. I remember it. I've seen it 3 fucking times. Trust me, he never had that.
I just watched Ghost episodes twice, so trust me, he knows.
That's what I'm saying. He never had the power to just remove souls. If he did, Ghost would be a very different series. Let's see, what else? Now we go on to... Oh, yeah. Wait, what? ZiO? What did you talk about?
When he went back to the future. When he went to the future...
Oh, my god, yeah. I remember that. He meets ZiO.
Tries to fight him with the Decade Watch. Or something.
Then he gets fucked.
He gives up. For like one episode, then he fights a robot voiced by Seto Kaiba, and then he's like, okay, I guess I need to be a writer again.
I guess I need to be a writer because gays yell at me. Oh. Yeah. And then we have Shinobi, who doesn't really make sense because he's just kind of there, and then Shinobi then is also in this timeline.
Yeah, there's the another writers where they're all inconsistent because Shinobi is like, oh, he's a weird dream, but he's still here, but he's not actually a writer yet, maybe, or not at all, or...
No, see, Shinobi's from a different timeline. He's from a completely different timeline.
And the one that... different timelines is the thing, but he's...
No, that's what I'm saying, like, they're from a different timeline, but they're using the Shinobi from our timeline to be another Shinobi.
Which...
Wrap your head around that one.
What? And then there's Quiz, where it's like, okay, he brought Quiz from another timeline somehow, and now he's here, I guess.
Which is why I said they pretty much gave up on the whole thing of it doesn't matter where you make another writers, you just make another writers because you can. Literally, that's all it happens. Much. Because literally the whole thing is just like, oh yeah, Quiz from 20. And his dad, another Quiz, and he didn't lose his powers.
How?
His whole arc is like, oh, I wanna something, my dad's an idiot. I don't know.
And then we got Ryuki.
No, it's Ryuga, technically.
Well, I'm gonna lump in Ryuga and Ryuki both into here because we need some brevity. So we are gonna talk
about the Ryuki special?
Really fucking quick. It's only 3 episodes anyways. So yeah, here's something that they did with this fucking show. They fooled you into thinking that most of the specials that they did off the show were important, but really only Ryuki mattered. So, well, what we have here is Ryuga and Ryuki special. Well, I'm going to talk mostly about the Ryuga one because that's the one that really matters, because that's the one where, we get ZiO 2. I mean, you get some stuff with Ryuki that's kind of cool, like, we get to see Ryuki, we get to see Knight, we get to see all our beds back, we get to see Oja and all his chunky glory in that suit. Abyss gets fucking jogged out immediately.
That's what I'm pissed about!
He gets murdered immediately!
You have an open slate! You have an open slate for that armor! Give him something to do!
Imagine being an unironic fan of Kamen Rider Abyss.
It's like being a fan of fucking Aqua. God.
Well, it's true because they both got screwed over in this show.
Oh, and how?
So, can I just mention that in the Ryuki fucking special, it felt really weird because like, okay, so everybody knows about the whole thing with Ryuki with the gay couple. Everyone knows this now. Well, this is the first time that I ever got to see it, right? So I'm watching it, and it caught me really off guard because immediately, as soon as they fucking finish stabbing their friend to death, they're fucking banging. And it caught me so off guard because it was a legit hard cut to just stab to bang, and I'm just like, what the fuck happened here? It was so weird because it just happened out of nowhere. And the funniest thing that I mentioned when I was watching is that it's like they try and cut away from the scene so you don't really see anything. It's like you start hearing the jazz music and you start seeing the bed move, and it's like, wow, you really had just no fucks to give here at all.
Mm-hmm.
So after Ryuki, we get Kikai, which, as we mentioned before, is just retarded because it's a fucking dream. It wasn't a dream. He was summoned by the power of dreams that never happened again. Ever again. Because... No explanation? No, fuck you, that's why. So, then we got another ZiO with the most boring fucking villain we've ever seen in my life. Oh, he killed my family. It's like, no, he didn't. You dumbass. That was Decade. He couldn't drive the bus for shit. So...
It was also Tsukuyomi's fault because she's the dumbass unloading a fucking gun in a bus, so...
Fucking Tsukuyomi. Killing parents, bro. Oh boy, now after another ZiO we get to Blade. Let's talk about Blade. Let's talk about it. Because
Blades is probably one of the worst, and it's definitely one of the worst, I think, is primarily how it's all resolved. It's a fine arc up until the end.
Well, see, that's the thing. Here's the thing about that. I will disagree with this, mainly because what the fuck was Kanzaki doing in Japan?
I don't know.
Exactly.
He was there because the fucking show needed him to be there. I don't know, I guess.
The entire point of the ending of Blade, for anybody who hasn't seen it, was that Kanzaki was going to fuck off somewhere that they could never find him, so he could never have to fight Hajime. What the fuck is he doing in Japan? Where was he there to fucking visit his parents' grave or something? Like, what are you doing here, buddy? You know what's going to happen. Especially when you're in such quick vicinity of each other. So now they start fighting. And now they're fighting each other because the end of the world's going to happen. And then, just to really take the knife, jab it in you, and give it a fucking good old twist, they just take away their Joker powers. They're human. Fuck you.
See, I think that really it's primarily what I think is my biggest issue with the other writers. Notice how we haven't talked about them because there's nothing to really talk about. They're just kind of boring. My main issue is with how they're integrated in the plot is that nothing they do, none of their plots really have anything to do with the show they're from. Like, the one or two that we get is that, oh, it's a character from that show, and they're the another writer for whatever reason. And even then, they're kind of lazy about it. My issue is that had they, from the beginning, had it be where the another writer is a character from the show, whether it be the writer themselves or just some side character, whoever you could get, and they're the another writer, bam. I think that would probably make it at least, at least twice better than what we ended up getting, even if it was they just do nothing with it. But no, it's just here's some random guys who have no reason to be the writers being the writers. And they kind of start doing that near the end of the show, but it's one of those too little too late kind of things.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like the thing that that really pissed me off especially because, dude, I love the ending of Blade, and that ending when you take that ending and you just essentially just fucking slap people in the face with it, I'm sorry, that's just not right, dude. Because it's basically telling you that, oh yeah, guess what? That ending didn't mean shit. Because you could have always just taken their powers away. Whoop-de-doo. No more Jokers. Really? That's your like. Oh, that honestly pissed me off more than most anything in this show, because it's like if they had taken the ending of Kuga and just said, "Oh no, he's fine. He was okay. It's cool. Whatever." You know, you didn't really have to sacrifice anything. Honestly, that the final form was never actually going to kill him. They just kind of misread the Garangi. Like, could you imagine that shit? Like, that's literally telling the audience who cared and paid attention, hey, fuck you. That's basically it. And oh my god, that arc really did piss me off. And you know what? As nice as it was to see Kenzaki get out of his van, and as nice as it was to see Hajime come back with that fucking haircut, that was a haircut, man. What was that? Like, and hell, I'll even say it was nice to see Amane back. It was really nice to see Amane back. But like, when you get these people back, I expect, a modicum of respect, a modicum of respect for this. But you don't give us that. And that's kind of the thing I could say about, what do you call it, all of the like arcs, especially like, let's see, we're at Blade, right? Like, the only one I could say that they maybe gave a little bit of respect to was maybe Agito. And that's really it, because there was really nothing to fuck up with Agito, because it was such a definitive, there's nothing you can question about this ending.
Thank God. Or else you would have been hearing my rap.
Yeah, because
it was kind of just boring, because they don't really do anything with it. Like, they waste their time with...
I'm sorry, what was that, Jay?
For fuck's sake. Internet's fucking with me right now. Give me 1 second.
And I thought I was going to have problems with my internet today.
Well, at least you had it at the beginning. What happens?
This is true.
What happens there is that that's not going to help. You're not going to fucking hear me in the recording. Damn it! Now I fucking forgot. Never mind.
Hold on, I got an idea. Give me a second. Let me see here. All the way down. Save. All right, so I lowered down the bitrate a little bit, so maybe that can help us. That usually helps when you have like internet problems. So there we go. Okay. So yeah, like I was saying, with Blade, you take that ending and then you get to Agito. So let's talk about Agito, because I think Agito, as a whole, was the better arc in the entire. It was actually the best one in the entire show. Because there was nothing to fuck up with it. There really wasn't. It was super simple, And it was nice to see, Shelley Duvall come back. It was really nice to see her.
Leave her alone.
I'm sorry, I can't stop seeing it.
Yeah, I remember when you showed me that.
It's like, it's such an uncanny resemblance. Like, it's mostly when she smiles. When she smiles, she looks a lot like her. But any other time, she looks fine. But you know what's not helping her? That fucking haircut, mate. That fucking haircut looks so weird. But yeah, it's nice to see Mana back. It's nice to see... I keep forgetting that her name's Mana for some reason. But yeah, it's nice to see her back. It's nice to see it's nice to see Agito back, because his character is so fucking simple, and he's pleasant. He's so pleasant.
He's just a guy who, when he got the call, he ran into action, and he was unstoppable.
I just like the idea of him, because again, I think my favorite part of the episode was just seeing him, as a chef. He was a chef. That was it. That was the ending of Agito. Exactly. I think that's one of my favorite parts about that, is that Agito was the most natural in the sense that life just happened. After he was done with all the unknowns, he went to be a chef, and now look at him. He has his own restaurant. It does well. He's in Paris training with the best chefs in the world.
He's
and that's it.
Married.
And I'm like, that's maybe yeah,
Mana
he might be
is his
married.
wife.
We don't know.
She helps run the place. Maybe.
I don't know. I think weren't they a
more
little
siblingly. I know they were more like
Mana was like
no. I'm saying
12.
That's what I was saying. Like, weren't they a little too? I mean, then again, I guess once you're 18, all bets are off. I don't know, but I don't think they were. But you know what I mean? Like, I just like the fact that it's like, you know, you have just a writer living his life now. There was no weird circumstances where they're just traveling or anything. He just, hey, I have a restaurant. Let me tell you about life. I like that. I like that idea. And seeing him again, and then seeing him as Agito kick some ass and all that, and then hearing "Believe Yourself" blare over my fucking speakers, which is always happy. Fucking welcome.
Also, I really liked what they did with the G3 units there.
Oh yeah, where they basically they are now. Yeah, they are now the police. They are now the police unit, and I'm like, yeah, that would happen because after G3 X came out, why not make them, you know, the special forces? Those are the special forces now.
Where's his giant Gatling gun?
Well, that's only for G3X.
You know they should have
G3X gets that.
They should have like a whole squadron of G3s, and then G3X is like the commander of the unit, being like, "Get the fuck out of the way."
I kind of wish they did bring him back though. But I guess he's too busy being a fucking meme all over Twitter because of ramen or something. Yeah. I kind of wish they brought him back. But yeah, overall, I think the Agito arc was the best one. I mean, that's not saying much, but you know what? It made me happy. It made me happy because, again, I know I said I wasn't going to use the returning writer as a positive, but I'm using more what they did with him, not just the fact that they brought him back.
Well, one way or another, we got to talk about him. So, yeah, it does matter. It's just, you know, they're not, you know, the characters that take us from arc to arc.
And yeah, exactly. Let's see. The next one, Hibiki. Oh, sorry, you were saying?
Well, I was trying to say is that I don't necessarily agree that it was the best arc, mostly because they ended up just wasting all our time with the boring, Tsukiyomi has amnesia now, I guess, and that's important.
Yeah.
And the entire time and all of the cool stuff they actually could have done with the arc and all the fun like little bits they could do, and it's all wasted on, we need to develop Tsukiyomi as a character because we didn't do that at all yet. And that's it. That's it. Like, okay, they handled Agito the best. They definitely showed him the most respect. They definitely... I guess it was the most positive reunion of the cast and the most positive use of a previous writer, but the episode itself was just a whole big, like, nothing. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't like...
Yeah, but see, that's... I think that's kind of the thing about me, is that, like, I think I liked it because they didn't try to do anything stupid. Because everything else, they tried to do something either weird, stupid, or too much in the opposite direction. Like, again, with Blade. They just told you to go fuck yourself. At least with this one, you know what? I'll give them the fact that they at least didn't try and fuck up anything with the writer. I didn't like the amnesia plot, which is why I'm saying, I mean, when you compare it to everything else, it is kind of the best arc, because everything else didn't really do anything that... Everything else is kind of just shit. At least this one... I had fun with it, not at it, I guess. I think that's my reasoning.
Alright, yeah, that's fair.
Let's see.
Hibiki was a whole lot of nothing. They brought fucking Kyosuke back, I guess. Nobody liked him when he first showed up, and I don't know why they thought we would like him again.
Because
they kept interrupting Todoroki's guitar solo, and that pissed me off.
They really did.
It's like, man, let him play his guitar.
Damn it.
They fucked with the audience's expectation, because he's like, oh yeah, I'm Hibiki, and then he's not Hibiki, but then he becomes Hibiki at the end anyways. Which they then did the opposite of with Kabuto there. But Kabuto is
see, it's weird.
The closest to the original show, because it's just a big clusterfuck and it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I liked the Kabuto one as well. It felt like I was watching Kabuto.
See, with Kabuto, it's because
great.
You mean one Hell Brother and the other one that somebody ate.
Yeah, he kind of let himself go.
Yeah.
he looks like he literally looked like one of the fish sausages.
Oh no.
Woo!
I guess he's following.
I would hear for that one.
Comment
But yeah,
the,
so
Ultraman, whatever his name was, plan of all the drugs.
I don't even know if he did drugs. I think he just went one too many times to those fucking ramen places, man. I mean, that's all he eats. Instant ramen.
Well, considering the budgets.
So yeah, I liked Kabuto's arc. I mean, the only thing that really didn't gel with me was the fact that he became Kabuto. I mean, wasn't that kind of the point of his ending, where it's like he no longer needs to be Kabuto. He's strong enough as he is. I don't know. That's what I was saying. Like, I don't know. That kind of weirded to me. I was just like, wasn't your whole point the fact that you weren't?
I liked that touch.
I thought it's one of those things that was really divisive, where some people thought it was a nice little thing and it was a nice little way to cap off, the attack there, and other people hated it and thought it was a big betrayal of his character. And I don't know, you're fine accepting whatever thoughts you did. It's kind of a mixed bag. I just thought it was like a big, neat little thing where he got to be Kabuto for a couple of minutes and then not.
Yeah, I guess in that sense, yeah.
He got recognized by the Kabuto Sector, and I liked that. That's pretty much all my thought was on it.
Now, see, what would have been better is if we had gotten Hyper Attack with all its cardboardy goodness.
Oh, no.
Well.
No.
We need cardboard attack again.
I actually just thought of that, thinking we could have used Hyper Attack.
Great minds think alike, I guess. So next one, Den-O. Den-O is Den-O. That was it.
Yep, more imaging
happened.
Makes me happy.
They made the joke because Kyosuke and Zeronos are the same person. They made that joke at least. Other than that, it was a big waste of time.
You see, the only thing that Den-O gave me was Deneb, and I love watching Deneb.
Yeah, Deneb wasn't in the movie, but then again, the movie had Takeru Sato, so I guess that's a nice balance there.
Deneb is best imagined besides fucking
Momo.
What's his name? The white
Sieg.
one.
Sieg.
No, the swan. Sieg, yes. I like Sieg. Sieg is cool. Next one.
My favorite part about that was the end. Deneb dressing up like a doctor and sneaking in the hospital.
Oh my god!
Oh
yes.
yeah, that was adorable.
he was perfect.
Oh yeah.
I actually have that like screenshotted because it's just so cute.
Oh yeah, me too.
So next one was ZiO 2. We already kind of talked about that one. That was just garbage.
This is at the point where the show just kind of becomes this weird clusterfuck where it's like, oh, okay, well, the timeline's been fucked with again, and now another ZiO is the real ZiO, and whatever the hell, and there's like a
even though ZiO still exists.
It gave us Decade with Gun.
Yes.
That's all we need to know about it.
Decades around shooting people, I don't know, and then Schwartz becomes another Decade, and then things just kind of fall apart from there.
Fall apart. They just turn into fucking dust.
The duct tape wears off.
It's literally falling apart because he's shoving all the worlds together, and it's all just kind of destroying.
So yeah, let's wrap up with the fucking finale and. Oh, sorry. Go.
Okay, so I have not watched Decade. The thing with the multiple worlds ring, was that something from Decade, or was that something they pulled out of their asses?
Not that I remember.
Yeah,
I remember something about that from Decade.
Yeah, that was something
from
Decade with the alternate worlds and their own kind of like. I think them just all being like in a big ring was more of like a visual thing.
So I'm not.
Wait, Phil. Are you asking about them being alternate worlds, or are you talking about the another world that Schwartz makes?
The things like the whole ring of Earths and everything.
Oh, okay. No. That was a thing from Decade.
So I'm not going.
From what I remember. No, you're not. I know.
Not in that way.
It's funny because I actually thought they had just reused the shot from Decade that they.
That's what I thought too.
Right? It looks so fucking similar. I mean, who knows? Maybe they just like gave it an HD facelift.
Well, they had to add a couple more worlds, but pretty much, yeah.
So let's talk about the ending because the ending is we're at the ending, guys. We're at the end game, as they say.
Yeah.
Clusterfuck, stupid, dumb, stupid. There we go.
Especially if we're talking about Grand ZiO. Good God,
that armor's
was that thing hideous?
Actually, Jay, I'm bringing this up now so I can ask you, because maybe you can explain to me, because I didn't get it. So you were saying that because I remember Aqua was just like, oh, you gotta come back to time, Gaze and fucking Tsukiyomi, because you being here is only gonna make Sogo Oma ZiO more, but you not being here is also gonna be Oma ZiO.
I think that goes into the whole thing where the world's merging and fucking up all the timelines and making everything into one big mess there, where them really kicking off the plot by even showing up is kind of what fucked it all up. Because, like they say, they are Tsukiyomi and Gaze, they're technically from a different world. And them merging the worlds and them going back in time is what creates ZiO. And so them helping him out leads to him becoming, closer to becoming Oma ZiO, and that's leading the world.
I mean, I guess he was technically right.
Yeah, I mean, he was right. It was a kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy where they're going back in time to stop the guy, but they're the reason why he exists in the first place.
Which is a major
paradox.
paradox.
Yeah, like I said, he was technically right.
When you add in all the alternate worlds merging and the different timelines and all that shit. Eternal shows up for 2 episodes and steals the scene.
Because he's eternal.
Oh my goodness, yes. It was just like, then, finally, someone that can compete with Masahiro Inoue for screen time.
Yeah. Aqua dies. I guess, boo-hoo all 3 Aqua fans.
How are they ever gonna bring him back for the sequel?
Well, they already resolved it because everything got reset at the end anyways, because
oh fuck yeah,
everybody else died.
We'll get to that.
The whole
nothing mattered.
Okay, so here's gonna be my thing, because I gotta ask this other question. So we see all the worlds, right? We see all the worlds all together. So what I need to know, and this is the question I need to really, really ask, do we have multiple worlds, timelines, realities, or multiple timelines within multiple worlds? Because they really don't explain that well.
That's the thing, and that's kind of what I wanted to get into with my crackpot tinfoil theory.
Here we go!
All right, put that hat on, Jay.
I think what it is that it's all of those combined. Because the idea of course... Now, let me explain. The idea of his course is that all of the different worlds, all of the writer worlds, all the different shows got merged into one timeline, one single universe, but now we're dealing with all of the other shows and their respective problems, their own timelines, their own series of events. Like Kabuto has like 3 different timelines and alternate universes. Den-O is Den-O. Fucking Kiva has time travel. There's, all this shit. All these different, worlds and all these other different shows. Try to mash them into one world and one timeline. And there's all this contradicting shit. I think that's what it is that it's supposed to be, like, intentionally contradictory. Because, remember, there's a couple of points where they even acknowledge, like, hey, why is the timeline screwed up? Like, hey, why is this thing here, but then this thing is here? Like, Gatak mentioning, oh, didn't Shibuya get, obliterated? Or, like, the Skywall shows up, and then you have, like, the Fudo Tower and all of that. What I think, and this is a little far-fetched, and I'll even admit that, is that ZiO was a weird meta-commentary on it was a meta-commentary on the idea of a shared continuity and a shared universe for Kamen Rider shows. Because that's, how often you hear fans try to, like, fit all the shows into one timeline? You always hear that. It's like, it's got to be a shared universe. It's got to be this. People try to work out the timeline. Hell, we tried to do that once, and that, whatever the hell you want to think about that episode, we have, I got problems with that one too. And it's impossible because all of these shows have their own contradictory information and contradictory events. Like, you got Gaim, where the fucking United States gets nuked and everybody, like, half of Japan dies. You've got pretty much every show ending with some kind of cataclysmic event. Characters dying, stuff blowing up, but it's just fine. Stuff like that. And it's impossible to, like, rectify it and put it all into one timeline. And that's what I think ZiO was. Is it was them kind of being like, you guys asked for this, this is what you get. No wonder it's confusing, no wonder it's contradictory, no wonder it's full of bullshit. That's because that's the idea. If you want to have them all fitting together, this is what you're going to have to deal with. Now,
you see, I was going to say, okay, I'll go for it.
My primary evidence for this is that Shirakura has, in the past and during the show, been very, very vocal about his dislike for the idea of, like, the writers having a shared universe. He's always liked having this idea of they're all self-contained, none of them fit together except for the movies, and the movies don't count. And I get that. I understand from that perspective. As though that way you don't have to worry about, oh, well, why isn't this character from this show showing up? You know, logically the writers are here where, well, they need to come back, you know, obviously for crossovers, but crossovers don't matter until they recently have, but that's getting another thing. I'm going off topic here. You know, every show exists in their own self-contained universe, so every show doesn't need to worry about, you know, resolving consequences of, like, things. You know, they don't need to worry about, like, oh, well, how's the next show going to deal with it? But when you try to have it all into, like, a big shared timeline, then you start having those questions like, well, okay, well, where's this writer hanging out? You know, the show ended with them still having their powers and still hanging around. Why aren't they there helping out instead of, you know... And I know that's the usual thing with these kinds of situations where it's just expected that the hero's not going to help because that's, you know, it's not their show anymore. And that's what I kind of think it was, is that it was them kind of being like, okay, you want a shared universe? Here's your shared universe. Don't complain to us that it doesn't make any sense. Now, I will say is that there's not too much evidence in the actual show up until the very end there where, you know, they start mentioning all the worlds getting merged and everything like that. I think the problem primarily is that if you had a better writer, and that was kind of the idea you were going with from the start, it would work way, way better. But here it's just me pulling this idea out of my ass because I'm trying to rectify a writer's shitty writing and poor treatment of the source material. And then the final arc where it's like, oh, okay, well, all the worlds are being merged into one and that's fucking everything up. Well, okay. So that's why I'm saying it's like a big tinfoil hat thing, is that there's not a whole lot of evidence in the actual show to support this, but if you really think about it, it feels that way. Anyways, end rant.
Yes, but you're wrong. I'm just kidding. I mean, I could see where that theory's going with, but like I said, the only problem is I would be much more on board with the theory if it turns out that we had a thing where, because remember with the Netherworlds where they were basically like, oh, the Netherworlds are possibilities that were never really shown. I was thinking to myself, would that technically mean that we have worlds where they still do? Because I was thinking of it this way. Like, there's a world where Gaim and Drive share a universe, and Drive and Double share a universe. But it's also a world where they were able to start Reiju, or what the fuck was his name was, from blowing up America. And then you have Gaim Prime, where you have him destroying America, and nothing else happens from there because Gaim just goes off to be God. He still does that in the other universe, but you get what I mean. Like it becomes confusing because there's a point where you start thinking there's a universe, or it's the multiverse theory where every single possibility that could happen happens. Like the idea of Discord could literally just shut down right this very instant. It doesn't happen right now. No, but I'm just saying it doesn't happen here, but it could happen in a different universe that I just made up because of that possibility. Like that is the problem that I had from the beginning with time travel and multiple universes. God damn it, you don't do this because it brings up problems like this. It brings up problems.
Yeah, and I think the inclusion of Decade there, whose whole shtick has always been there's a million different alternate universes and there's a million different like worlds with writers and blah blah blah. And that kind of helps there with what you're saying there. But at the same time, is that like both these ideas are kind of like contradictory in and of itself, and that's why I'm saying that it's kind of tinfoil hatty because it's. I mean, there's nothing really in the show to support it, but at the same time, it's the best.
Yeah, but and that's what I'm saying. Like the idea of this brings up inherent problems because no matter how you look at it, it's gonna be something that goes too complex that I'm guaranteeing you Shimoyama didn't actually think about, because then you start thinking, all right, but what if there's a timeline where ZiO doesn't graduate and he just fucked and he can't, and his uncle gets pissed off and doesn't let him be ZiO anymore? What if this? What if that? Like, you start having so many millions of what ifs that officially the narrative implodes in on each other, because then you're going to start thinking to yourself, what if every episode is just an episode from a different fucking universe? Which is why Gaze keeps changing his mind, which is why Tsukiyomi keeps having stupid fucking thoughts of amnesia and shit. What if every episode is just a completely different ZiO? And but that's what I'm saying. But it happens in your mind. You think about it. It's one of those things where it's like, you might have not have thought about it, but your brain did. And it's stuck in there, and it happened to... Oh, yes, I am, because it's true. You may not have noticed it, but your brain did. And it happens so often to me in this show, because I just keep thinking to myself, why this? Why that? What if this? What if that? Blah, 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 blah. And it just blows my mind. Like, I know somebody can be out there saying, oh, just don't think about it. It's hard not to when you have an IQ that isn't in the single digits. Like, it just happens. Anybody who watches this show, it's gonna happen because you just can't stop thinking about it. Because it's there. It's in your face. And like what Jay said, it might be a bit tinfoil hatty, but honestly, I wouldn't put it past them. I wouldn't put it past him. And the thing is, I also wouldn't put it past Shimoyama to fuck up his own parody. Because that's how it comes off.
Too, is that Shimoyama is not a good enough writer to pull that off. So that's where it really falls apart, is that's why I'm saying that it kind of comes off that accidentally. Like, I don't know, maybe this was Shirakura's idea and he hired a shitty writer intentionally to get his point across. I don't know.
Could you imagine?
I wouldn't be surprised. It's not like the first time that's happened. But that's the problem, is that there's really no way to really answer what the hell any of this confusion and any of this bullshit is. And really it ends up not mattering anyways, because like we mentioned there, they pull the fucking reset button anyways. Ending. Blah, 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 blah. They pulled the reset button ending anyways. So none of it ended up mattering anyways. All this bullshit didn't matter. Fucking entire series is pointless. And I guess, okay.
And see, the thing is, like, in reality, if we're trying to think of the show as itself, the way this show ended, honest to God, the world would have been so fucked before ZiO would have even had a chance to think about being Oma ZiO. You had fucking his name up. Daguva. I'm gonna just call him Daguva. You had Daguva there, in his form, blowing shit up. You had Evil using black holes. This world's fucked.
Destroying powers.
That's exactly my point. Is that every single series has had some kind of like cataclysmic event or world-destroying power there, and there's no real way to like rectify all of them into one timeline, because then it just raises too much questions. But Jay,
with all those types of
but at least you can like say. But see, I was gonna say, at least you could say in the sense that, you know, they were still stopped before they could really destroy anything. And in the terms of build, at least they just told you straight up it's a different world, so it doesn't even matter. But here, it's like you have them all at the same time. Do you have any idea what fucking Daguva and fucking Evil could do in 5 seconds? Let alone everybody else in this goddamn planet? Like, goddamn, dude. And that's what I'm saying. It happens so often that you just keep thinking to yourself, stop. Like, you can say whatever the fuck you want about Ghost. I've said whatever the hell I've wanted about Ghost since the beginning. But at least Ghost never tried to bring in time travel and different realities. I mean, to be fair, if it did, it would be fucking stupid. But still.
I was going to say, didn't Ghost have time travel? But no, it did in the movie, but that doesn't count.
Yeah, it don't matter. But that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a thing of just like, it's almost overwhelming how many times they do it, because after a while it's just, man, you guys just stopped giving a shit, honestly.
And I think that's why I'm so annoyed about the ending, is that it's then the complaint changes from, oh, okay, well, they fucked up all the shows and they fucked up all the shows with all these endings and stuff, you know. They retconned Blade, they retconned Ryuki, they fucked up all these shows and fucked up all their timelines and stuff. And then with the reset, it just becomes, well, now you've just kind of wasted our time with these bad episodes, but then they don't matter anyways.
It all never happened.
I'm not going to sit here and complain that they fucked up Blade because, you know, they ended up resetting it all anyways. Granted, not like it was going to matter in the first place after this show happened, because another writer's going to come by and pretend like it didn't happen.
0-1.
See, that's the biggest problem, actually. That was my biggest problem that I mentioned from the beginning, is that they're going to reset it. I said that from the... I should find where I said it first, because I said it at the beginning. They're going to reset it all anyways. They can change whatever they want. They're going to reset it all. And see, that's going to be somebody's fucking argument to this when we try and bring it up. Well, why are you so mad? They just reset it anyways. It doesn't matter. The thing is, yeah, they reset it. But what did he really reset? Did he reset all of the writers to have happy endings? Or did he just reset himself and all the writers have to redo everything they did anyways? Because, actually, that's a good thing to get into the ending, actually. So, let's get into this. So, first off, guys died, LOL. So he dies. He's like, become a ZiO, become a ZiO, and he does because
he's upset.
Huh?
Because he mad.
I don't actually understand how that works, but
the anchor that would cause something
like that. To be fair, he was pretty much.
Sorry, go on.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty straight from like the second to last episode. That like, at this point, the only way this world's going to end is if you become ZiO and destroy everything, anyways, because shit's fucked. And we've only got one option left. And that was kind of like, him dying was kind of like the final point where he's like, alright, you know what? I really don't have any other options, do I?
He had to erase time to save the people that he cared about.
See, that's the thing about it.
Out of his ass? I don't know. Don't ask.
Yeah. Like, I don't actually get how that worked. How did that work? Like, it just happens.
Magic. I don't know. Don't ask questions, kid.
God damn it! But and that's what I'm saying. Like, then we get to the ending, which is the reset button, because it literally is the reset button. But here's the problem: it doesn't make sense even then. Like, even the reset doesn't make sense because, okay, he resets the universe. It totally just to make one world. By the way, that's what happens. He gets all the worlds and just makes one, and then makes them all back again. All of them again. Okay.
Well, no, because
whatever.
Schwartz wanted to destroy them all. They were already merged at that point anyways. I don't know. It was kind of confusing. The point is that all the worlds got destroyed and then they got restarted. I don't know. Whatever.
So then we see ZiO back with his uncle, blah, blah, blah. He's going to go to school. We don't know if he remembers being ZiO. Because then the people who died, a.k.a. Hora, Gaze, and Tsukiyomi, are just back.
Pals.
And they're not just back.
They're his classmates.
Yeah, they're not just back. They have no memory of ever being Gaze. They have no memory of being Tsukiyomi. They have no memory of being or Ora. They don't remember doing shit from what we've seen. And then, just to really fuck you over, there's Waz. Being Waz, because
Waz is the only one not affected, and I'm pretty sure that's you needed to watch the movie to understand his powers, blah blah, fuck you.
But like, is Waz like, I don't know, is Waz like a fucking singularity point, like out of Deno? Like, does that stuff just not affect him?
That
I think so.
Would explain something.
Like that's the only way that would explain it to me, because like, other than that, what is that? What are you doing? It's like,
from
Waz just comes in fine?
I know of the movie, that does seem to be the point where he kind of like exists outside of time or in space or whatever the fuck. I don't know.
He's an Imagine. Oh my god, I say that and it'll be true.
What if he was? Ooh.
Oh,
fuck you.
Oh no.
But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like, the entire. Oh my god!
Now, So basically, he just rewrote things the way he wanted them to be, and that was that.
And fuck you for caring about the events that happened, I guess.
Pretty much.
Fuck you for wasting your time watching our show.
Thanks for wasting a whole fucking year.
Thanks for buying the toys, stupid.
Thank you, fuck you, bye.
Thanks for basically giving us absolutely no resolution. Kind of.
See,
I'm confused.
And that was the thing that really
drink.
got me mad. That was the one that what really got me mad was just like, because I said at the beginning, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. You're damned if you do a reset. You're damned if you actually do a reset, and you're damned if you don't, because if you do, or if you don't, you're stuck with whatever bullshit you've made at that point. That is canon now. That's what happens now. Like, there are no more Jokers. Kabuto is Gataka is now Kabuto. Blah blah blah. Kyosuke is now Hibiki. You've rewritten so much now that now it's just like, okay, so what now? Like you're damned if you do, and that's why I was so opposed to this type of fucking anniversary show, because I'm just thinking you can't change much because you'll get fucked. Because you know what? I'll say whatever I want about Kokaiger. I mean, I have problems with it, but you know what? They didn't fuck over with shows. They brought characters in to just help out the main heroes. That was it. That was all they did. They didn't have to make a story around it. They didn't have to do anything about that. That was it. Here it's like you're actively changing continuity and then telling everybody, whatever. It's not like it matters. Like, you just can't do that, man. You can't do that. Fucking, there we go.
I don't know.
I think.
I guess.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Like I can't be super mad about it because whatever. I get it. It didn't matter anyways. It was a waste of my time. Whatever. I just don't have the energy to really get mad. Like you said too. I mean, I pretty much knew it was going to be a reset button anyways. Of course, I held out hopes that they would do something less predictable, but about halfway through, I was like, okay, they're going to pull a reset button ending, aren't they? Yeah. So I guess that's why I don't care enough to get as mad about what they were doing, fucking with the shows and all the bad decisions they made, but.
And see, that's the thing. Like, it's just one of those things where it's just like, I really just feel like you can't. And okay, I know it's gonna sound weird, but like, you kind of did slap your fan base in the face, because like, not even just new fans who are like younger kids or people who just got into it, but the people who have been watching since the start. You know what I mean? Like, there were people watching. I mean, me included, of course. There was people watching since Kuga. That's over 20 years of just this franchise, and then you're just kind of like, whatever. You kind of just gave him a fucking shrug and a smack on the ass.
And I've said, I don't know if I said this in the main group. I've said this between all of us. What ZiO should have been was a celebration of all 20 years of Riders. It should have been Sogo as a Kamen Rider fanboy, dreaming of becoming a Kamen Rider, then becoming ZiO, getting what he wants, and meeting other riders over the course of the series who teach him that, you're a rider now, but it's not all fun and games. You have the weight of the world on your shoulders, and he starts slowly.
And that would have made sense. That actually would have been a much better idea, because it's like, yeah, the writers are teaching they're essentially teaching a rookie to be a writer. And I'm like, yeah, that's great. That would be a fucking awesome idea. I mean, sure, in a perfect world, you get all the writers back. But even if you don't, I mean, even if you get some secondaries like, Meteor or shit, you can work around that where, like, if you can only get the secondary back, let Gaze or the alternative version of Gaze learn from the secondaries. You're the backup, but that doesn't mean you have to be the background or something like that. That'd be a great way to fucking show that. That's the thing about this entire show. It's more a disappointment on how much wasted potential that, I think Rider itself has just become complicit over. They've just been very, very easy. They've been very, very, complacent of just doing the bare minimum, if that. And I don't think I'm wrong in that assessment because they kind of have felt like they've done that over the past few years. I mean, they did it with Ghost. As much as I still do kind of like X8, they did it with X8. The last third of Build, they just decided to fuck it over, and now with this.
I don't know what it is. It's just that none of these shows can really nail the ending for some reason anymore.
Well, it's not even just the ending. It just feels like they're not putting as much work as I wish they would. Because, and it's funny enough because somebody brought it up. Because, with the suits, we can talk about aesthetics real quick. The suits, they're great. I mean, for not the actual, power-ups. I mean, to be fair, I do like ZiO, too. I like ZiO, too, a bit.
ZiO 2
Grand ZiO was not even battle armor. That thing's more like ceremonial regalia armor.
I couldn't take it seriously with himself on his head.
Right?
It was so fucking stupid. It was
putting your fucking it was like putting a mini bust of yourself in front of your Ferrari just to piss people off.
Though the part that I really hated about that was that he never actually used himself. He never touched himself on the head.
Whoa!
Hey.
Yeah, buddy. Come on, man.
There are children here, please.
Kenny.
Watch your fucking mouth, man. This is a kid's show.
If we wanted a writer to touch himself, we'd go back to Blade, okay?
Then again, we've got mothers watching that show with their kids, so that probably wouldn't.
I'm sorry. I should have said. I'm disappointed that he never touched his little man. Wait, that's not better.
That's better.
His mini ZiO. I like that. That was pretty.
Kids are calling it.
Oh my.
Ooh. I'm too old
for
this.
So what are you doing?
But
myself.
I mean, overall most of the suits looked fine. Like I liked I mean, if we like the another writers, they were all fantastic. Yeah. All of them.
Oh my goodness!
Like especially with their practical effects when they were blinking and moving their mouth. Oh, lordy, that was delicious. And the base suits. I like Gaze's base suit. It's not often where we have just a pure, not even red. He's more like a crimson rider, and I kind of like that. I like that color. I like ZiO's colors. I liked Waz. I mean, Waz is basically
he's a
tinfoil, but fuck, I like
He's one of those athletic wristwatches.
He
looks
was
like
a smartwatch. He was a fucking Apple product.
He pretty much was.
Ugly was Trinity.
Yeah,
Trinity was a bit much.
Another podcast, Cast Ranger, released the links for it, and it pissed off the creator.
Yeah, I suppose we can talk about the Trinity incident. So I'm sure,
time for it.
As you may know, or may not know, if you've been following this franchise a little bit beyond a very casual level. So naturally, because it's a toy-driven series, they put out toy catalogs to distributors, like your big box stores, your chains, the big distributing companies. So they put out catalogs that have all the new toys of the quarter long before they even show up in any magazines or any shows or anything like that. So these have very heavy non-disclosure agreements, very heavy contracts and stuff that they're not supposed to release them, not supposed to talk about them.
Very
Area 51.
We still get them anyways.
Basically.
More or less. We still get them, of course, because through the power of the internet and being nerds, we get them. Of course, people still keep falling for fake ones, even though there's only ever been one or two guys who have ever actually released them, but that's another story. So we got them for the third quarter, and we got Trinity relatively early. I think it was at least 3 or 4 months before it was even mentioned in a magazine or anything, which is normal. Mm-hmm. And then this happened, where some idiot went on to Twitter. Well, actually, no, it was completely unrelated. What happened is that somebody was on Twitter asking Shirakura questions about what they call the power-up forms, because we call them super forms or final forms, or what are the official names for the power-up rankings. And then he's just oh, well, this one's called, they're kind of basic names. It's like mid-season. I don't remember what the fuck he was calling them.
Yeah, I got you.
He was kind of like explaining what Toei officially calls like the power forms. And then somebody was like, well, what about Trinity? Now, there was, of course, Agito Trinity, that was in one episode, and that basically nobody remembers. So, of course, there was ZiO Trinity as well, that we already knew about. Mm-hmm. So this guy's like, so what do you call Trinity? Not clarifying whether he meant Agito or not. Shirikura is just like, you're not supposed to know about that yet. I guess if I remember the exact way he wrote it, was that you were supposed not to know about Trinity. Now, of course, the guy and everybody else tried to save their asses, but he's like, well, we meant Agito there, and they're, oh, what are you talking about? What do you mean we're not supposed to know about him? Like, I get it, we don't get these shows officially, but we kind of watch them still. And then some fucking dipshit posted the catalog scans on Twitter, and then
I know the name of the guy. I'd link it to you, but I don't want to get upset.
You already said it.
No, I didn't.
You already said it.
It hardly matters.
Name. I said the group's name. I didn't say who the person is.
Be that as it may. Be that as it may.
Doesn't
be
matter.
that as it may.
The guy's an
then
idiot.
again, this is the same group that tried to get Dan Kuroto's to get interviewed by them.
Well, be that as it may, the guys who did this and the guys who supported the guy who did it are fucking idiots, because it was a stupid move. It's basically like going up to, like, I don't know, fucking Kevin Feige and saying, "Hey, look, I just took a picture of Captain America holding Mjolnir." It's like,
no.
Yeah, it's
you don't do that.
It's the equivalent of, like, it was the equivalent of, if you remember that whole thing that happened with Half-Life 2 way back in the day, where some guy
we're going back.
Leaked out the game early. It'd be like if that guy did that, and then somebody went to Valve directly and started asking them questions about the leaked game that we're not supposed to have or know about. That's
pretty much
what it was.
It pretty much.
Yeah.
It was fucking ridiculous.
And the fact that everybody was kind of in, like, doom post mode. Everybody was kind of assuming, oh, well, what the fuck's gonna happen? Are they gonna they're gonna finally send the fucking ninjas to kill Crane Joe and all the guys who usually post them. Of course, nothing really happened. We still got the scans like usual. Somehow nothing ended up happening there. But still, everybody was kind of in, like, panic mode because, like, well, okay, this dipshit just told one of the producers of the franchise about the catalog leaks, so now they're aware. Even if they were already aware. Now they're aware officially, so now they have to do something. So what's going to happen? How is this going to be resolved? Nothing really happened, or at least that we know of. So
take this as a warning.
How appropriate for ZiO.
Exactly.
Take this as a warning. Take this as a warning, kiddos. Don't be a fucking idiot. Bam.
Basically.
All right. So with that being said,
be mindful of what you say to whom.
So you were saying,
basically, if you have information that you're not supposed to have information, don't go fucking asking questions about it to the guy who fucking works for the thing that you know the information.
You know what I should do? I should edit. You guys have seen that one Twitter post from that furry who was like, "Everyone shut the fuck up! I work at NASA now." I should edit that one and say, "Everyone shut the fuck up! I have scanned," and it's just Shirikura. It's like, wait, you're not supposed to know about that.
Dude,
fuck
my
you.
uncle works for Nintendo. He gets me all the cool games.
So I think with that being said, I think we can. I mean, we're 2 hours and 30 minutes into this, so I think we can finally just give our final thoughts and go right into our open forum after this.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's start off with for suspense.
Really?
Right.
Okay.
Phil.
ZiO was a big disappointment. It was one of the first Rider series that I actually openly disliked, and I'm usually the type of person that tries to find the silver lining in everything. And I don't ever want to watch it again. If I have to, I'll begrudgingly do it, but I don't want to do it again.
And this guy liked Wizard.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You leave my Koyomi alone.
Next one is Nemit.
For me, ZiO was a show of moments. Those moments involved Masahiro Inoue being Decade. Watch the episodes with Decade, and then don't watch anymore.
Or just go watch Decade.
Well, yeah, or watch Jenga. No.
Or watch Decade while watching Jenga.
Well, if your reading comprehension is just completely off the chart, as well as keeping up with crazy cool action, yeah, sure. Anyway,
that would be something.
This is a rough series to recommend, as it was kind of painful to get through, but there are some genuinely enjoyable moments, but on the whole, just don't.
And next one is, well, obviously Jay.
I mean, like I said,
the disgust in your voice, holy
I'm
shit.
Just kind of like, whatever at this point. Like, I kind of stopped caring about halfway through and was really only watching because, well, other than I don't really have anything else other to watch, but it's, I mean, I knew we were going to do an episode about it, so I figured I might as well just finish watching anyways. It's just fine. I mean, I don't hate it as much as you guys do, obviously. I found a little bit more enjoyment in it, personally. But that's just because I'm like, I don't care, and I knew that nothing was going to end up mattering, so, like, I couldn't really get angry about, like, all the dumb shit that happened. And it's just, I'm just so tired. I'm just so bored of it. It's just, nothing happened.
Dumb!
I wouldn't necessarily say it's definitely not the worst. It's definitely not the worst Rider show. It's still not as bad as Kiva or Ghost or Wizard or any of those other shows. It's just, it exists. It's just there. It just kinda, it's just a waste of time. And it's
ironic.
It's an anniversary series. You get what you expect and you get what you deserve because it's just boring.
I mean, what else is there for me to say other than what I've... Like, if you guys are in the Discord channel, I mean, honestly, like, you know, everything's there. Everything that I could possibly think is there. But if I were to mash it up and squeeze it out and puree it into the finest form of what I could say about this show, it's a massive... Honest to God, it felt like a gut punch. It felt like a gut punch because... And I have to preface this again because I have to say this every time. Nobody, me, Jay, Phil, nobody on this podcast, nobody ever goes into a Kamen Rider show wanting to hate it. We don't do that because we want to like things. We want to like things. You know, we want to come in here, and say, ZiO surprised me. It was the greatest fucking thing. It was awesome. Oh my god, I'm losing my shit. Like, we want to do that because when you're genuinely surprised, fuck. Yeah, dude. It's great. Like, who wouldn't? But it just wasn't. Like, every episode felt like just more fire. More fuel to the fire of just, why is this happening? Why are we doing this? And like Jay said, it just, after a while, it kind of just beat me down. It kind of just kicked me down to the curb, and I just thought to myself, why am I here? Like, why am I watching this if I actively do not enjoy it? And the only guys, honestly, the only reason I finished this show as fast as I did was because we had to do a review. If we didn't have this podcast and we didn't have this review, I honest to God would never even have seen it. And I can't recommend it. I mean, I know Jay said it's not as bad as Wizard. Honestly, Wizard was boring.
Faults,
this was just disappointing.
But it had
I put this below Wizard. I would put it below Wizard. Because honest to God, I wouldn't put it near Ghost. I honestly maybe a little. I would put it maybe a little below Kiva. Yeah, a little bit below Kiva, maybe. Just right there, because at least Kiva had really good stuff in it, like music and suits and some characters. This didn't have much. I mean, yeah, it had one good character, and then the other one wasn't even from your show. Like, think about it. Overall, honest to God, this show was just a major disappointment. 20 years kind of just flushed down the drain for nothing. You know what? The best thing I can say about this is I have the highest hopes for 01. That's the most I can say about it, because I really hope 01 rocks my socks, because after the ending of Build, after Ghost, after this, I don't know, man. It's starting to get a little hard watching newer Rider series. I think we might just have to go back to reviewing older shows like Hibiki. I think I'd rather take that. But yeah, I think with that being said, I think we're pretty much done here, and I think we're gonna go straight into our open forum. So Jay, open up that OBS, and I'm gonna edit. Yeah, right, go for it. Stop it, and then send it to me, and then I'm gonna edit this part in anyways. I'm gonna give a big old cut here. Actually, Phil, if you can, just fucking record yourself saying bye real quick, so I can just edit you in there, so people wanna. Don't worry, do it by yourself. Don't worry about it.
Fucking figure it out. All right.
Like I said, just do it by yourself. Don't worry.
Okay, starting in 3, 2, 1. Oh, hold on. It's not picking up my mic anyways. Okay, that's fine.
Well, like I said, it doesn't matter if it's picking you up. We're gonna use the Audacity anyways.
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna. Yeah, you know what I mean.
Still recording that. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and here we go. I think I didn't get it before Phil said goodbye, but whatever.
It doesn't matter.
Okay,
he recorded it anyways.
I have everybody involved who wants to be involved pulled up on a wheel. Oh, and I just spinned it already by accident. All right. Well, I was gonna say I'm gonna spin the wheel, and then whoever gets picked, we're gonna go with. But I spinned the wheel by accident. So
I think we should explain what's going on real quick. So, minus the weird cut. So we're back with the open forum, which is basically we have a bunch of people from our Discord server who have a little something to say about ZiO and what they feel about the show and everything. They're basically going to give their final thoughts really quick, like us, but you know what I mean. So yeah, so spin that goddamn wheel, boy.
All right, well I spinned it, and Mr. I don't know what the fuck, Technodude Archer, whatever the fuck your full name is there. Like we said,
right.
If you don't want to unmute yourself, go right ahead. Just post it all in the chat. We'll read it. If not, AJ will let you be unmuted.
Yeah. So if you want to actually speak, just say it right now in the chat real quick, and I'll just unmute you real quick.
Shit, actually, before you do that, let me make sure I am recording. Yes, I am recording. Okay, good.
Awesome.
Always gotta make sure.
All right, Mr. Technodude, give us your quick old final thoughts on ZiO.
I'm still. Oh, okay. I'm on mute. All right. I have a lot to say about this, but to sum it up really, really quickly, it was honestly, it was a disgrace. This was supposed to be the last send-off, the last hurrah, everything for the 20 years of Heisei Riders. That's what we were supposed to get. Instead, we got this epic clusterfuck of massive proportions where there were, as you guys said, there were only 2 good characters, one of which was from another show. I mean, I'll say it, I enjoyed Waz. I specifically enjoyed the 2 episodes of Eternal because I'm a big fan of Eternal, but I will agree the returning riders are kind of just jingling keys. There's a lot to hate about ZiO and not a lot to like.
All right, thank you for that, Technodude.
All right. Yep. Absolutely.
All right, thank
you. For coming by. Okay.
All right, so next on the wheel.
Next wheel. And wheel of morality. Turn. Tell us who's gonna fucking talk next. I don't know.
In turn.
Mr. RabbitKammen, it's your turn to go.
All right, give us your quick thoughts on ZiO, or BO, and GEO.
All right, I'll make this very quickly. Even knowing how bad Ghost is, I would rather watch it again than step through GEO one more time. Especially when concerning things like the Blade arc, the Hibiki arc, and just pretty much the characters in general being... even, I can't believe I'm saying this, better in Ghost. Even marginally so. The only thing that GEO really gave us was Waz and a return of Tsukasa, and that's it. That's all GEO has going for it. And now the other thing it has going for it is that it's so universally terrible that it made me question my faith in Kamen Rider, and even if I liked Kamen Rider in the first place.
Oh shit! Thank you very much for that.
A little harsher than I was expecting.
That was a bit heavy.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Rabbit boy.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. Next.
Rattle me bones. Mr. Kiren, go right ahead. Like we said, if you don't want to talk, go right ahead and just post it in the chat, and some people read it.
All right, so I'll read it for him. ZiO, great concepts, great ideas, okay characters, not so great story execution, especially the reset ending, kind of meh, to be honest. Oh, and Oma ZiO, Henshin and Jingle, absolutely stunning and the best in Kamen Rider. Well, you're wrong, but yeah.
Oh yeah, well, I wanted to talk about that. I think that's really what made the final episode good, was Oma ZiO's whole transformation bit and his fight scene and everything. That honestly was a pretty good final episode, even if
it made that episode worth it, to be honest.
Yeah, it did give us that one really shining moment there, and thank goodness they didn't overuse it.
I mean, well, yeah, when you have a transformation that fucking hyped up as it was. I mean, shit, you better fucking deliver.
Shit, we didn't even talk about fucking Oma ZiO being Rikio Koyama, who was in technically the first Heisei rider. You ever think about that? A little weird bit of trivia there. Also, his human form was played by Seiji Takaiwa, Mr. Heisei himself.
It's kind of fitting, isn't it, that this is the last time he's going for it?
Yeah, the final villain of the Heisei era was the guy who was the suit actor for pretty much most of it.
Except Hibiki and Kuga, but don't tell Facebook that.
Anyways, technically,
don't tell Facebook that. No, he wasn't.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, next one.
Thank you much. Okay, let's get the wheel. I'm gonna spin the wheel. Whatever. I'm tired. Sir LordArtsy, it is your turn.
All right, LordArtsy, what did you think about ZiO? Oh, did I unmute him?
Unmuted or not.
Oh, hit. Yeah, I tried to unmute, but it didn't let him.
Buddy.
Oh, I guess he's not gonna let himself be unmuted, or because I already unmuted him.
Okay.
Oh well.
I guess that leaves one person left. Not the best turnout. Adric will go right ahead. If he comes back, well, we'll just let Yo finish before he does.
All right, go for it, friend. Oh, he still needs to unmute himself properly.
Oh yeah. All right. Do we get two? Oy vey. Oi.
He was just there.
No. Oh no.
Oh well.
Well.
Oh, there he is.
Oh, we had all given up hope. Just like this show.
Oh.
Just like my life.
So, friend, what did you think about? Hello.
Everybody, the sound cut out.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit.
So my thoughts on ZiO. I think I dislike it more than Ghost because I stopped watching ZiO after like 5 episodes, and it took me to like the middle of it to drop it.
Jeez.
With ZiO, it's just a mess. Like
I think
no
this
good
is
characters.
Oh, sorry, keep going.
No good story. Just awful. The final episode was alright, but yeah, it's just a bad show all around. I kinda hope ZiO 1's good. That'll be my thoughts.
Alrighty then. Let's see here.
Okay.
I think that's pretty much everybody, no?
I guess we'll give this guy another like a minute or two. If he doesn't get back, I think we'll just call it quits.
Appears to be AFK.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Oh well.
Well, in that case, I think that's about time.
No, he's not typing.
Wait,
is he typing? I don't see his name.
yeah, I don't think he's typing. Yeah, so with that being said, I think that's pretty much it. So, you know what time it is, guys? For our 101 episode, we gotta spin the fucking wheel.
Let's hope we get something at least equally as disappointing to watch.
All right, wheel, spin, spin, spin. Blah blah blah. Win, win, win.
Win, or whatever.
Yeah, that one. All right, so come on.
I don't fucking know. I don't care
Come on,
anymore.
No more Kamen Riders for the next 4 episodes, please. All right, let's spin this.
Come on, standalone movie.
I've
got a busy week.
Oh god, me too. Fuck.
You better fucking hope then.
Knock on wood.
Hold on, I need to check if this actually has subs. If it does, I'm picking it. If it doesn't,
oh, that's always a good
well,
sign.
we're fucked. Well, it's funny because it's a Daikoju Mono, which if Jay knows what that is, it's gonna be fucking great. But I don't think it has subs.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't think it does have subs. Wait, hold on. It's on Netflix in Japan, but that's it. Nope. Nope. Wait. Hold on. Maybe. I think I found it on Vimeo. Is this? No, it's just a trailer. Ah. Yeah.
Fake.
Nope. I don't think so.
And possibly gay. Oh well. We can do it another time, I guess. Maybe as like a side.
All right. Well, let's open this up. Let's just do it again. It's basically gonna keep on the wheel until we either find subs or we find basically anywhere to fucking find it. Alrighty. Come on, wheelie.
Pretend that this is the first time that we're spinning it at all and you didn't hear that entire first time.
Yeah, because Daikoju Mono doesn't have fucking goddamn subs.
Yeah.
You would think.
You'd think somebody would. At least somewhere. I don't know.
Alrighty, guys. Well, it is not Kamen Rider. It is Kaiju Big Battle.
Again, yay.
We never actually did it, so hey.
Based.
Let's hope it's actually good.
I guess we are watching Daikaiju Mono then.
You're lucky because we were about to fucking land on Decade.
God, imagine the fucking coincidence.
That would have been hilarious.
I would have almost been impressed. I would have genuinely been impressed at that coincidence.
Alright, everybody. Well, with that being said, we do thank you for joining us for our 100th episode. We almost went 3 hours with this garbage. So, 100th episode. Thank you, everybody who's actually listened to us live. Thank you, everybody who actually joined us. I didn't do the shilling, but I'll just post-edit it. It doesn't matter. And with that being said, I guess it's just time to leave the 100th episode behind. So, as always, I am AJ, that's Jay.
Bye, everybody, and thank you very much.
That's Nemeth. And that's Phil.
Phil left.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.